Hey guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was very dark kid from the very beginning, movie. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic TokehGecko, link is in the description. Also subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let's start the story. Children ran about, as they played on the playgrounds of the shinobi school. Yumi no Iruka observed every Nina student present, and knew everything about them. It was said Iruka was the most powerful Chunin teacher in this school. There was Mizuki, who carried a strange, hiding aura around him, but he didn't seem as strict and controlled as Iruka. "Oi, Kiba, you little brat. Leave little Hinata alone," Iruka screamed. But the young man was fast to scream when needed. Iruka looked behind him to see Nara Shikamaru and Akamichi Chaoji lay around, staring at the sky. Chaoji seemed to be staring at both the sky and his food. There were few outstanding students this year. There was a rookie genius, but he wasn't as good as the previous rookie Hyuga. Uchiha Sasuke downright hated his classmates, while Hyuga merely looked down at them. Then there was the genius of the class, but she lacked in the other departments, such as strength and technique. Urano Sakura was very intelligent, but she was also the target of a lot of bullies. Iruka never thought her forehead was that big. There was a student a year ago, who had passed the genin test with flying colors. The student was more powerful than any of the teachers, and even some of the higher and more advanced Chunins. But a suited instructor couldn't be found, so said student was having solo missions rank C, close to B. Uzumaki Naruto was amazingly dangerous. The entire village hated his guts, and would do anything in their power to kill him if it weren't for the third's law. Iruka also hated the boy's guts, among almost everyone else. But the boy would be avoided at any cost, since he already had a big list of kills. Well, tomorrow would be the last day for this set of students, as the genin test would be held then. Kakashi lazily strolled towards one of the rooms assigned for him. He didn't know who his students were going to be, as he was too late at the briefing. The Hokage did tell him he had the hardest bunch. This year that little brother of Uchiha Itachi was going to turn genin, right? I wonder if the Hokage picked him to be one of my students, Kakashi wondered, as he opened the door. He was met by two faces. One was missing. Oi, where's the other one? Urano Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke looked at each other before looking back at the famous Sharingan wielder, Hada Kakashi. So you two don't know? I'll have to report this to the Ho. Kakashi was interrupted, as he sensed a powerful chakra behind him. Haddock. Kakashi nervously swallowed, as he recognized the voice. Don't tell me the Hokage found me the most suitable to be his Jounin instructor. Kakashi turned around to stare into two very dangerous eyes. The blonde boy had his arms folded, as he glared. Ah, Uzumaki Naruto, so you finally decided to go along with Sandame's advice. You're the only one I will ever respect, for you have always respected me. Naruto glared Kakashi down. Make this quick, Haddock warned with a gaze that would turn Kakashi into a pile of ash. I still have one mission to finish today. Kakashi nodded his head, and turned to face Sasuke and Sakura. My name is Hada Kakashi. The boy behind me is Uzumaki Naruto. We both don't like to introduce ourselves, but for the facts I like reading, and he likes missions. Now, what about you two? Any likes or dislikes? Dreams? Sasuke frowned a second before Sakura started her useless bantering. After seeing her blush about 3 times, he got annoyed and interrupted her rudely. I am Uchiha Sasuke. There are few things I dislike, but even fewer I like. My ambition is to kill a certain man. Kakashi nodded his head, while Naruto sent a tiny glare to Sasuke. Sasuke almost seemed to be scared, but he sent a glare back. Naruto turned his back to him and walked out. Wait, you three will have a final genin test tomorrow. I expect you to come too, Naruto-kun. Tomorrow morning at 9, survival training will commence. I expect all of you not to eat breakfast, otherwise you most probably will throw up. Naruto simply walked away, while Sasuke and Sakura's eyes whitened. Kakashi decided to explain further. Sasuke was a bit nervous, while Sakura was very nervous. In front of the duo stood the vessel of the 9 tails, Uzumaki Naruto. Calm down, he had said when he had just arrived. Your nervousness can be felt in the entire Leaf Village. The blonde shinobi left it at that, and indicated with his eyes that he wouldn't appreciate it if they would talk to him until Kakashi had arrived. Great, I'm stuck with a psycho on our team. At least Sasuke-kun is on my team. Sakura mentally cheered. Hey, Sasuke-kun. Did you eat breakfast? Instead of answering the question, Sasuke, as usual, ignored the pink-haired girl. Who is this boy? He's almost akin to me, but he seems even colder. Why do I feel so intimidated whenever he glares at us? He remembered how the blonde boy had talked to Kakashi yesterday. He shows no sign of respect towards Kakashi, but then again, neither do I. Sakura wanted to ask the strange Naruto why he was so late. They had been waiting for a full hour. Could the boy have known Kakashi would show up later? She decided not to ask, as it seemed Naruto was asleep, seated against a tree. Another thing was that the boy scared her. Yo? This indicated the sudden arrival of Kakashi. Sakura immediately pointed a finger at the Jounin. You're late. she yelled, waking up almost everyone in Leaf Village. Naruto rose to his feet as he heard Kakashi. Kakashi turned to him first. I assume you won't be having any missions anymore, now you've become a genin to a Jounin instructor. Naruto almost lazily gazed at Kakashi, still with his arms folded. According to you, Haddock, I can't have missions next to being under your tutelage, as you have put it. Kakashi nodded. The boy's only friend is the Hokage. He seems mad at me for going to the Hokage to ask him to relieve Naruto from solo missions. Kakashi analyzed. This boy will be a handful. I have to gain his trust. Kakashi knew Naruto was the vessel of the Kyuubi, and knew that he was hated throughout most of his life. He also knew the boy trusted no one, except the third. Naruto had become a cult shinobi, a skilled, calculating, and merciless killer, but still a genin. He knew some of his skills, but only some. This team of his was very interesting. Well, let's start this thing. I have 2 bells here. Kakashi showed them to his public. Your mission is to grab one of these bells. If you have one, you will be a genin, and I will be your Jounin instructor. Kakashi viewed their reactions. If you fail, you will become a student again, he said, answering the question that was going to come out of Sakura's mouth. Alright, I expect you to come at me with intent to kill, otherwise, you will have no chance of even touching these bells. Kakashi explained. Come. As expected, all 3 shinobi spread out. All in their own ways. Sasuke jumped further back, while Sakura quickly dove into the bushes. Naruto, on the other hand, slowly walked away. I will observe these 2 along with you, Haddock, he said with a very superior voice. I assure you that you, as I, will be very disappointed, he said, as he disappeared. Kakashi narrowed his eyes at the spot where Naruto disappeared. From that movement, he indicated to me that he's fast. From his speech, he indicated to me that he was far more superior to Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi smiled underneath his mask. I do wonder how strong you are then, Naruto. Kakashi yawned, as there still was no movement around him in 15 minutes. Sakura is doing nothing under that tree, while Sasuke is really observing me, trying to look for some weak spots, openings. I can't locate Naruto, though he's skilled in stealth, too. Time is running out, guys. I guess I will have to show you a lesson in stealth and in ninjutsu. Kakashi started, as he disappeared from both Sasuke's and Sakura's view. Sakura was immediately caught in ninjutsu, as she saw Sasuke die because dozens of kunes ripped through his body. Sakura quickly fainted afterwards. I didn't expect her to faint. I guess she really likes that Uchiha boy, Kakashi wondered, as he sensed that Sasuke was in the clearing he was in before. As he appeared before the Uchiha, the little boy smirked. I'll have you know that I'm far above the average genin. I'm not like the Haruno girl, Sasuke said. I don't know how strong that Naruto is, but he's as old as I am, so I should be superior to him as well. You have mighty words, Sasuke-kun, Kakashi said. But can you back them up? Sasuke started with throwing kunes at Kakashi. Of course, the Jounin dodged only to see Sasuke activate a trap. Kakashi dodged the trap as well, and noticed Sasuke using taijutsu on him. He's fast, but still predictable, the Jounin thought, as he blocked every move. He quickly moved backwards, as he saw a hand slip towards one of the bells. Sasuke smirked, as he performed a few hand seals. Kaden. Kakashi's eyes slightly widened. He's using that jutsu. But he's a genin. The Kakyu no jutsu. Sasuke let out, as he let out a ball of fire at Kakashi. As the fire died down, and the smoke cleared, Sasuke found no trace of Kakashi. Damn, where did he go? Below you? Sasuke's eyes widened, as his foot got grabbed, and he was dragged down low. Ninjutsu, Sasuke-kun. To be more precise, Doten, Shinju's Anshin no Jutsu. Kakashi explained. Ah, there you are, Kakashi suddenly said, as he turned away from Sasuke. Naruto had his eyes closed, as he stood in front of Kakashi and Sasuke, with his arms folded. I told you they would disappoint you, he whispered. Kakashi's eyes widened a bit, asking for clarification. What about you, Naruto-kun? Want a bell? He asked, as he swung the bells on his pouch. You'll have to fight me for one. Naruto opened his eyes, and sent a huge wave of killer intent over Kakashi and Sasuke. Sasuke's senses trembled, as he felt Naruto's killer intent. Well, what? Kakashi clenched his fists to ignore the killer intent. Impressive, he's still holding back though. He's too calm to be going all out still. This killer intent is insane for someone his age. Naruto grinned, as he glared Kakashi down. I've never fought a Jounin before. I'm facing an elite Jounin now. Had a Kakashi, wielder of a Sharingan, owner of 1,000 jutsus. Sasuke's eyes widened. Wielder of a Sharingan. Naruto closed his eyes again. Let's end this little quarrel. You're a Jounin, so I should have no chance of beating you. Naruto opened his eyes again. But let's take this up a notch, he dangerously whispered, as Kakashi felt a little of Kyuubi's chakra. Kakashi's eyes widened at the chakra. Can you control Kyuubi's chakra? Kakashi braced himself, as Naruto vanished. He's fast, but I can still keep up. Sasuke, on the other hand, had no clue of what was going on, as he was still stuck in the ground. Damn, they both have so much chakra. As Naruto appeared in the clearing again, Kakashi threw a few kunes at him. Kakashi watched, as all of them were bounced back by red chakra. Damn, he's controlling it so well he's made a defense out of it. Really impressive. For all that has been used against me, I shall grow stronger by the seconds, Naruto said, as a huge red hand of chakra reached out towards Kakashi. Sasuke's eyes widened, as the ground obliterated, and set him free. Kakashi had jumped away just in time. Kakashi tried to attack Naruto with Taijutsu from behind, but red chakra stopped his advance, and actually tried to grab him, as he was approaching. Make that absolute defense, Kakashi analyzed, as he jumped back. He's become a very difficult shinobi to beat. Kakashi narrowed his eyes on Naruto. Speed, I'll have to move fast. Naruto closed his eyes, and shook his head, as he saw Kakashi move at high speed. Halt, Haddock. I have no need to get hurt today. As a Jounin, I fully expect you to beat me. But I thought this was us versus you. Naruto turned to Sasuke. You puny little bug. Get up, and try to attack Kakashi. Sasuke looked annoyed at Naruto, but his attention got diverted, as Sakura suddenly latched to him from behind. Sasuke-kun. You're still alive. Oh, thank God. Sasuke snarled, as he dropped Sakura to the ground. Don't touch me. He turned back to Naruto, with an occasional glance at Kakashi. He's got one bad attitude, but we may have to work together to get the bells. Perhaps the two of us should become genins. Sakura can't be left behind. She isn't skilled enough anyway. Doubt, and I will attack you instead of Haddock, bug. Naruto warned, as he vanished. Sasuke snarled again. I'll teach him to talk to me like that after we get the bells. Kakashi jumped up to avoid a sudden hand of red chakra from underneath. In midair, Sasuke appeared to attack Kakashi. Kakashi easily avoided the small taijutsu techniques, and kicked Sasuke back down to the ground. Sakura was looking up at the two, and hurriedly ran to the spot where Sasuke would land. Before she could reach the spot, however, Naruto stopped her by appearing before her. Another bug. Make yourself useful, and try to grab a bell instead of chasing the other bug. He advised that behind him, Sasuke fell on his back. Naruto shook his head, as Sakura ran to Sasuke. Useless, he said, as he looked at Kakashi, who had just landed. Naruto quickly performed a few hand seals. HMPH, Doten, Doryer Dango. Kakashi's eye widened at the technique, before he dodged the huge mud ball that Naruto created, and threw at him. I should have known a genin like him knew Chunin level techniques. Sasuke's eyes were widened, as well. He's certainly interesting. His defense is good, with that strange red chakra. His techniques are impressive too. I will have to surpass him. Naruto turned around to glare at both Sakura and Sasuke. I'm not strong enough to face a Jounin on my own yet. You two insects should hurry up, and attack him along with me. He softly said, but to the two genins, it sounded like a vicious bark. Sakura immediately rose to her feet, albeit wobbly, too afraid to say something against Naruto. He really frightens me somehow. Sasuke too, rose to his feet. His killer intent is insane. I am even slightly trembling when he's staring at me. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Naruto knows he can't beat me alone, so he decided to get some backup. Well, it does work, but they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Kakashi turned to Naruto after staring at the trembling Sasuke and Sakura. They're afraid of Naruto. There are only two bells here, why would you work together? Kakashi asked. One of you will fail, anyway. Naruto snorted, already knowing Kakashi's mind games, but he let it rest. Sasuke and Sakura both doubted, though, as their fear for Naruto died down a bit. That only counts for Sakura. She's done nothing so far. Naruto and I will definitely get those bells. Sasuke thought. Sakura, being pretty smart, was on a whole other thought pattern. This is a test where there are two bells, so only two can become genin. But we're three, so why should we work together? Sakura smirked as she caught on. We'll work together, even if one of us won't become genin. Kakashi smirked back. Smart girls. All of them are very interesting. He analyzed. The combined strengths of all of you combined show me that the three of you are ready to become a team. But you started, looking at Naruto. Don't need to scare your teammates. You need to start leaning on another more. Kakashi said, staring at Sasuke. And you, Kakashi started, as he turned towards Sakura. You shouldn't let your emotions get the best of you. He ended. Other than that, congratulations on becoming genin. I won't. Kakashi was able to rip his own head off at his 100th refusal by now. Naruto just completed this mission already. Naruto glared at Kakashi. I won't, Haddock. First, this mission is ridiculous. Grabbing weed second, that old lady hates me, and I hate her right back. If we were alone now, I would rip her throat out, and eat it. He warned. I don't care what you think of me, Haddock, but I simply won't do it. Naruto snorted. Ripping weed out, I'll rip her stomach out if she keeps glaring at me like that. Kakashi sadly nodded his head, as he stared at the old lady at the door, who was overlooking Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, and himself. But indeed, she was mostly sending a very cold glare at Naruto. The entire village hated Naruto, and it had turned Naruto into a vicious shinobi. Kakashi and Naruto were walking in the front, Sakura behind them along with Tazuna and Sasuke trailing from behind. Naruto had his arms folded, Kakashi and Sasuke had their hands in their pockets, and Sakura was keeping her arms everywhere while walking. The trip so far had been very uneventful. There wasn't a lot of speech. Naruto didn't like to speak too much, and Kakashi and Sasuke only spoke when it was really needed. Sakura and Tazuna were the only ones talking on the trip. But they too were quiet after a long while of walking. Accompanying some trash to some unknown dump, Naruto muttered, "This isn't what I was hoping for at all." Naruto's expression told everyone he was annoyed. Kakashi was thankful Tazuna didn't hear him, and replied, "Something suspicious, though." Something had been nagging at him since the start of the mission. And Kakashi was known as a genius who could analyze people best. Naruto nodded his head. "A small speck of hope is wondering what hell it's doing around me. Perhaps it's because I smell 2 rats," he ended with a smirk. Kakashi narrowed his eyes in front of him. "Where?" he whispered. Kakashi looked behind him to see Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna following them. "So someone's following us. Or waiting for us." Naruto frowned shortly at Kakashi. "I smelled them first, they're mine," he said with a tone that was dead serious. Kakashi frowned right back. "Are they dangerous?" "Chunin level probably," Naruto answered before he looked at Kakashi. "I thought you could use your nose more advanced than the average shinobi, Haddock. I'm taken aback by this sudden revelation. My nose is better than yours." Kakashi ignored the remark and analyzed the surroundings. A duo of Chunins. Might be a good test for Sasuke, but Sakura won't be ready for it. Suddenly, he saw Naruto throw something away. Kakashi looked at the strange thing, as it fell in a puddle. His eyes widened. Oh, and before he could do anything, the place was in total chaos. A huge explosion sent everyone flying. Kakashi had grabbed Tazuna and Sakura, while Sasuke landed on his back some 10 meters back. Naruto was just standing there, watching the smoke and the fire. "Now let's see how strong these two are." Kakashi glared at the grin on Naruto's face. What was it he threw? That was no ordinary explosive. Way too small for an explosion tag. Naruto noticed Kakashi's curious gaze. "In case you're wondering, I put some of my special chakra on a signed seal of yours truly. No explosion will boom as hard as this one," Naruto suddenly informed Kakashi. "One of them is dead, literally ripped apart, actually. The other survived, but lost half of his right arm," Naruto annoyingly said. "I'm kind of disappointed. I expected both of them to survive it." Kakashi walked up to Naruto, visibly enraged. "Don't do something like that ever again, you almost hurt one of us," he half yelled as he stood behind Naruto. Naruto turned and immediately glared Kakashi back a meter. "I don't care. I must finish this mission as quickly as I can. Casualties are tolerated, remember?" Naruto commented, knowing a little of Kakashi's past. Kakashi glared right back, as he seemed unaffected. "So you don't care about your teammates?" he said, anger slowly building up inside of him. Naruto held up a hand, as he threw a kunai straight into one of the opponent's chest. "If they're useless, no." Naruto turned away. "I suppose you want to question him," he said, as he pointed at the only survivor of his explosion. "It seems he is one of the demon brothers. How pathetic." Naruto spat, as he walked over to him, and grabbed him by the neck, holding him up. "Talker, I will let you live forever with a giant gash in your neck that will never stop bleeding," Naruto said with a grin, as he put his claw in his neck. Blood was very slowly pouring out, over Naruto's nails, and over the demon brother's neck. "Enough, Naruto," Kakashi warned, finally having enough of Naruto's attitude. "Haddock, you may be my Chunin instructor, and you're definitely more powerful than me," Naruto began, as he still held the single demon brother by the neck. "But what makes you think I will ever listen to you?" Kakashi narrowed his eyes. "He's a definite liability. But powerful, as can be," Kakashi sighed. "Extending this conflict will lead to nothing." Kakashi turned away. "Question him, then. I'll check on Tazuna and the others." Naruto grinned, as he turned back to the demon brother. "Now, then let's see how high your pain tolerance is." A half hour later, Naruto was as quiet as can be. The high tension was definitely there, between Kakashi and Naruto. Sakura and Sasuke didn't know what to do, and Tazuna feared the blonde shinobi who was leading the way. "Say who's the leader of those two?" Tazuna asked Sakura and Sasuke. The two genins were visibly shaken, but it was nothing compared to the frightened Tazuna. Sasuke didn't respond, knowing Sakura would. "Kakashi-sensei is our leader, but Naruto is just really difficult," she ended with a shake. Tazuna saw the goosebumps on her arm. "He's scarier than Gato," Tazuna said. "He really creeps me out." Sakura nodded. "He killed 2 people on this mission already," she whispered. "He's not like us at all." She ended with a whisper, as she closed her eyes. "He's so dangerous. He seemed to enjoy killing them." Sasuke nodded his agreement. "He's certainly interesting," he said. "He reminds me of..." When they were at the right distance away from the others, Kakashi started. "Naruto-kun. We need to be able to work together. You've had it rough, but we've all had it rough." Naruto shrugged. "I don't care who's had it rough. This is just the way I do my missions, he replied coldly. I'm not changing my way of doing missions. Kakashi grabbed Naruto by the shoulder, making both of them stop moving. This is not one of your solo missions, Naruto. You have to work together with your team. I know that, Haddock Naruto sighed. But this is turning into a better mission than I expected. This might actually be worthwhile. Kakashi looked Naruto straight in the eye. This is no time to have fun. We have 2 new genins on our team and a defenseless man. You are also just a genin. Naruto chuckled. True, but I'm not as weak as one. Kakashi nodded. Because of your attitude in the previous years you weren't allowed to go on a team. Try to hold back your anger some more, Naruto. Naruto's gaze darkened a bit. He had gone on a major killing spree on the first mission he was given as a genin. No innocents were killed, but he traumatized his former teammates with his kills. Even his Jounin instructor at that time wouldn't work for a few months. Naruto sighed. Fine. He gave in. But if I'm Manwayati will not hold back on it. Also, I'll let you handle the fights then. If I will, I'm sure I will kill everyone again. Kakashi nodded his head. One last request. Naruto waved his hand as he continued his walk. Forget it. I would never get along with those 2 weaklings. The rest of the trip was spent in silence, until both Naruto and Kakashi stopped the others and scanned the area. Both of them looked around, as if they were looking for something. Can you smell it? Kakashi whispered. Miss, I smell the awkward smell of mist, Naruto whispered, as he sat down on one knee and touched the ground. He then looked ahead. 2 peculiar smells, to be precise. Kakashi nodded his head as he steadied himself. Definitely more skilled than the Chunins we've faced before. Kakashi slightly turned his head to look at Sasuke, Tazuna, and Sakura. You two, guard Tazuna. Naruto, watch my back. Naruto studied Kakashi for a while, before finally giving in. At least make this fight enjoyable. Both of them suddenly looked to their right to see a gigantic sword flying towards them. Naruto moved his head a bit to the right, and Kakashi moved his body to the left a bit as the sword went by them. The sword got stuck in a tree, and seconds later a shinobi landed on the sword. Ah, Sharingan Kakashi, right? The man said, as he observed Kakashi. No wonder the demon brother failed their mission. Naruto glared at the man before he glanced sideways at Kakashi. Jounin, this will be very interesting, he thought. I wonder how long Kakashi needs to beat this one. Kakashi nodded his head to Naruto, ensuring he wouldn't interfere, before he turned to the intruder. Mamachi Zabuza, right? He said, before the two started some small talk. Naruto rolled his eyes at all the speech, but grinned as Kakashi revealed his Sharingan. And then, the battle began, as mist thickened around them. Finally some serious fighting. That Zabuza doesn't seem all that strong. Not fast anyway. As the fight began, Naruto narrowed his eyes at his surroundings, and the skills being displayed. Zabuza had placed himself between Sasuke, Sakura, and Tazuna. He's faster than I thought, but he also saw Kakashi counter his move, only to be countered again. Eventually, Zabuza countered again, and kicked Kakashi into the water. Naruto looked mildly annoyed to see Kakashi trapped in a water prison jutsu seconds later. You two, Naruto said, as he looked at Sasuke and Sakura for a second. Protect that sniveling old man. Naruto grinned wickedly, as he stared at the approaching Zabuza water clone. I'll free Haddock. Zabuza chuckled, as he approached Naruto. You are just idiots, pretending to be shinobis. You know nothing of the real life of a shinobi. If I was known as the devil, the demon of the mist. Naruto looked intrigued. Demon. Zabuza chuckled shortly before he began his little story of how he had murdered the entire population of the ninja school when he was younger. Naruto sighed, and shook his head after the story. That's why they call you a demon. How pathetic. Zabuza narrowed his eyes on the blonde boy. You don't seem to be afraid, like your two teammates. He darkly said. This one is a bit interesting. Naruto didn't even bother turning around. He knew Sasuke and Sakura were shaken by Zabuza's story. Naruto dashed forward, easily slicing the water clone in half with a single kunai. Naruto slowly walked towards the real Zabuza, who was holding Kakashi inside the water prison. The real Zabuza's eyes widened at how his water clone was so easily defeated. He immediately created some more, and made all of them attack Naruto. His mouth dropped open, as red chakra easily destroyed any approaching water clone. The kid has an absolute defense, a very dangerous one. Naruto's grin grew, as he expanded his red chakra, and turned it into a huge claw, making it soar towards Zabuza. What? He could reform his own chakra, and actually make it attack. A bloodline limit. Zabuza thought, as he quickly jumped away from the huge red chakra claw. Kakashi was freed. Naruto went back to observing, as the fighting between Kakashi and Zabuza recommenced. It was an interesting show of what the Sharingan can do, but nothing Naruto didn't already know. In the end, Kakashi copied a huge water jutsu, and defeated Zabuza with his own jutsu. Naruto remembered that he sensed a second presence before the battle had started, and found it appearing in the form of a mist hunter nin. Ah, the hunter nin has just appeared, a mist hunter nin. Before Kakashi could give Zabuza the final blow, Zabuza was hit in the neck by several needles coming from the hunter nin. Naruto thought nothing of it as the hunter nin took Zabuza away. A little later, Kakashi passed out due to chakra exhaustion. Sasuke occasionally looked at Naruto, who was leaning against the wall with his arms folded, observing Kakashi. Sasuke and Sakura were seated by Kakashi's bed. Naruto radiates terror. And he kills so easily. But his eyes are the same as mine. Sakura had decided that pissing Naruto off was not a good idea. She knew Naruto could easily kill her, and she knew he was stronger than Sasuke as well. From now on, she would socialize with Naruto as little as possible. Not that she didn't already. Sasuke had come to the same terms, but was curious to see how he would end up when fighting him. Naruto hadn't shown any of his speed yet, only his absolute defense. Look at me any longer, and I will kill you, Naruto suddenly said, as he glared Sasuke's gaze away. He sensed some of his color intent to deliver that he was quite serious. Sasuke swallowed deeply, as he snapped back to attention, and looked at Kakashi. Why can he frighten me so easily? As Kakashi woke up, he was met with all the faces he expected. There was one he didn't. Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter. She introduced herself shortly before she and Tazuna left to let the team speak with each other. Kakashi-sensei. How are you? Sakura asked. Kakashi took on a sitting position and stared at his own hands. I'm fine. Only chakra exhaustion is my injury. He lazily let out, as if he didn't really care that much. You need to relearn your own limits, Naruto suddenly said. Also, it was stupid of me not to register it at that time, but the missing nin just left with the body. Instead of Naruto stopped with a grin, as he saw the shock on Kakashi's face. Kakashi's eyes widened, as he remembered the scene from before. The hunter nin took Zabuza's body, and left. The hunter nin should have just gotten rid of the body on the spot. So he got away. Sasuke and Sakura both frowned. What do you mean, he got away, Kakashi-sensei? Hunter nins always get rid of the bodies directly, at the spot where they found him or her. This one, however, took the body with him. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. What a low way of escape. Kakashi rose up from his bed and grabbed some crutches. Well, this means they'll come back again. We'll need to train. You go train these two weaklings, Haddock. I always train alone, he said, pointing out there was to be no discussion about this. He left the room with some of his color intent still lingering in the room. Sasuke felt deeply insulted every time Naruto called him a weakling, but Sakura didn't even dare to think anything bad about Naruto, afraid that he might find out. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Well, Sasuke, Sakura, follow me. Naruto narrowed his eyes, as he was trying to sense several chakra signatures in the forest he was training in. Kakashi and those two insects are training tree walking. There are a few villagers in the forest, but there's one other who's hiding his or her chakra signature. Naruto slowly got up from his seated position, as he was seated against a tree. Another shinobi here. Seems very unlikely since there aren't supposed to be any shinobis in this particular part of the country, he thought, as he vanished from view. Let's find out who it is. What met him as he approached the shinobi was what he thought was a female. I can sense you, she immediately said, as soon as he was close. You were supposed to, I wasn't hiding, he snarled as he jumped out of a tree and landed in front of the female without so much as a sound. What are you, a shinobi, doing here? I could ask you the same question, the girl said, as she was taking some flowers from the ground. I'm on a mission, and I'm from the leaf. Your time to answer, woman, Naruto said, as he folded his arms, meaning he would not go away before he got an answer. My name is Haku. I am mixing plants to create medicine for a friend of mine. His health is in danger. Also, I am not a girl. Naruto narrowed his eyes, ignoring his own confusion. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. Nice to meet you. Haku smiled on the outside, but from the inside he was a little angry. This boy helped in defeating Zabuza. You seem familiar when Naruto starts. But I don't care. Perhaps we will meet again, he said, as he turned and jumped away. Haku frowned, as he just left like that. His chakra never rose during our conversation. He seemed rather cold, unlike his teammates. As Kakashi left Sasuke to go tree walking, and told Sakura to come back with him, Naruto suddenly appeared before him. There's something I need to ask you, Haddock. He glanced at Sakura. Without this little one. He stopped himself before he insulted her. They were so easy to insult. Kakashi sighed. Sakura, if you would. Sakura gazed at Naruto with fear in her eyes before she continued walking at a rather fast pace. As soon as Sakura was well out of sight, Naruto showed Kakashi a scroll he summoned. As you may have noticed, my skill of contacting my second character, as one might put it, is very high. Kakashi nodded, understanding Naruto was talking about the Kyuubi inside of him, and motioned for him to continue. I have already smelled you have a summoning scroll in one of your pockets. This scroll in my hands is also a summoning scroll, Naruto said. Kakashi nodded. Yes, I notice. Odd that a genin possesses one of his own. And a scroll that is so big, too. What do you summon? Naruto opened the scroll on the ground to show Kakashi that this was no ordinary scroll. It is only signed by me, as you can see. It's a freshly new scroll, and I can already summon it. It was required of me during my solo missions. But this scroll is an expansion to this scroll, Naruto said, as he grabbed a smaller scroll out one of his pockets. This smaller scroll allows me to summon tracking foxes. In total there are 12 tracking foxes I can summon. Kakashi nodded, knowing Naruto was still hiding something. I assume you were able to create this summon thanks to your penance. Naruto nodded and continued. This bigger scroll, however, is meant for bigger foxes. Very large foxes. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Summoning the Kyuubi is impossible, as he is trapped within him. Naruto chuckled darkly. No need to worry about me summoning Kyuubi. I'm able to summon 8 foxes in total with this bigger scroll. I need to learn how to summon from this scroll, as it requires different hand seals. Kakashi nodded. Ah, I have some use as a teacher for you, after all, then. Kakashi paused. What skills do you already know, Naruto? Naruto grinned. You know 1,000 jutsus, Hadouken couldn't possibly rival you yet. Kakashi noticed the tone in Naruto's voice, and classified it as joking and serious at the same time. I know a lot of Jounin level jutsus are not uncommon in my arsenal. Naruto said. I learned how to summon a small scroll from a special Jounin. You might know her, Midarashi Enko. Kakashi nodded, recognizing the name. I'll teach you how to summon this big scroll tomorrow. In the meantime, I ask you to help Sasuke with his tree climbing. He's having a bit of a problem with it, it seems. Naruto glared. Why should I help such a weakling? He is not worthy of my time. Well, if you don't, I think I won't teach you how to summon. Kakashi immediately replied, expecting Naruto to react like that. Sakura has already mastered it, quite good, eh? Naruto snorted. If you don't master that quickly, you should feel ashamed. Kakashi dropped his head a bit. Anyway, I'm going back with Sakura. Go help Sasuke, and make him master it tonight. If he hasn't mastered it, I won't teach you how to summon it tomorrow. Naruto glared a bit. Blackmail amongst Jounins, how pathetic. He spat before he turned around, heading for Sasuke. Kakashi shrugged, as he left. Sasuke landed on his feet, as he again failed to reach any further than he did before on the tree. Marks were on marks on the tree. Naruto appeared behind Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't notice. You're doing it wrong. Sasuke snapped back to reality, as he immediately turned around to glare at Naruto. Naruto glared right back, and walked towards Sasuke. Sasuke backed away, as Naruto seemed enraged. Then again, Naruto always seemed enraged. Concentrate more, you moron. Take your time instead of rushing to reach the top. You want to become stronger, right? How can you become stronger if you take such a long time to master this? Sasuke frowned, completely puzzled. Sometimes you need to take your time so you can move faster another time. Naruto spat, annoyed that he needed to learn something from someone. Just hurry, and master it already. You're wasting your time here. Sasuke had learned not to speak back to Naruto. Even Kakashi tried not to. He got up from his crouched position, and concentrated harder for chakra to assemble at his feet. As he ran, Naruto saw him reach 3 meters higher than his latest mark. As Sasuke landed again, he looked at Naruto with pride. Pathetic, Naruto said, crashing Sasuke's pride. Sasuke had mastered tree climbing, thanks to Naruto that evening. Both of them ignored each other afterwards, however. Kakashi, as promised, taught Naruto how to summon the next day. It was after Naruto learned how to when he decided on something. Haddock, you should spend all of your time trying to make those two stronger. If they're stronger, maybe then I'll consider them to be worthy of actually working together with me. Naruto said. Until then, you leave me to my own training, and don't spend any time on me. I need to perfect my skills. I want to obliterate both Zabuza and Hunter Nin. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Just how strong is Naruto? In the Bell test, he revealed very little when he fought Zabuza's water clones. He easily dealt with them. I'm off training. I suggest you tell those other two to do the same. Naruto said, as he turned around. Kakashi nodded, and left the area they were in. Sasuke has mastered tree walking faster than I thought. He's actually training hard right now. Sakura is also training, but she's probably watching Sasuke. As Kakashi was jumping from tree branch to tree branch, he tried to analyze Naruto's fighting style. He usually stands still, as his absolute defense doesn't allow anyone or anything to come close. His absolute defense is also an offense, so he can afford to stand still. He knows how to summon both a big and a small scroll. He has plenty of chakra to actually use the big scroll. So with the small scroll, he has plenty of summon jutsus. He knows Kage Bunshin, and all of the normal techniques. He's probably more skilled than the average Chunin. Kakashi and his students were on their way to the bridge Tazuna was building. Today they would help with the process only to find all the employees injured on the ground. Mist was also lightly lingering on the bridge. Brace yourselves. They're here, somewhere. Kakashi said, as he prepared himself. He turned to look at Naruto. Naruto? He asked. Naruto used his nose. They're approaching us from the front. As expected, 2 people. Kakashi looked at his students. Sakura, you guard Tazuna. Sasuke, Naruto, be my backup. Sasuke and Naruto nodded. In the previous days, Sasuke had grown a lot, and he was satisfied with his own growth. Naruto hadn't revealed anything, but Kakashi knew he had grown even more than Sasuke. Sakura had also grown, but not as much as the others. Kakashi revealed his Sharingan as soon as Zabuza and his Hunter Nin came into sight. Ah, Sharingan no Kakashi and his little students, and so soon you reveal the Sharingan. Zabuza said, as he stood in front of them. Last offer, hand over the man, and you won't have to fight. Kakashi's left eye twitched, as a bit of chakra was leaking out from Naruto. Calm down, Naruto, I will start the first volley. We'll see what happens after that. Naruto grumbled before his insane grin disappeared. I wonder how long it'll take this time. Sasuke swallowed deeply, now knowing he was holding his own breath. Naruto's look seconds ago was really frightening. Even Zabuza and his Hunter Nin noticed, but considered it not very important. Behind Sasuke, Kakashi, and Naruto, Sakura was paying full attention to them, but was still very nervous. Stay calm, Tazuna-san. They will take care of them. Suddenly, Kakashi, his students, and Tazuna were surrounded by 10 water clones from Zabuza. A second later, they were all beaten by kunai slashes from Sasuke. Impressive, it seems your student has improved, Zabuza said. Haku, seems like a rival. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Haku, eh? Naruto and Kakashi did nothing, as Sasuke and Haku sped forward to commence a battle between them. After a few exchanging blows, Sasuke clearly had the upper hand and kicked Haku in the face, knocking him backwards. Naruto wasn't impressed at all. With fighting like that, I would have killed the Hunter Nin in a second. You do understand that at this rate, we'll be driven back, right, Haku? Zabuza said with a grin. Yes, Zabuza-san. Haku whispered, as he performed a few hand seals. Soon, Sasuke and Haku were surrounded by ice mirrors. Sasuke looked up to see mirrors even above him. The bloodline limit, Kakashi said. Damn, Sasuke's not ready for this. Uchiha has activated his Sharingan already, Naruto suddenly said, reading Kakashi's doubt. He should do fine, otherwise he's not worthy of the Sharingan. Zabuza narrowed his eyes. Uchiha. Sharingan. So that's why he's improved so fast, Zabuza said, as he grabbed his sword and got ready to attack Kakashi. It doesn't matter. Unlike your students, Haku has no problem killing his opponents. Naruto snorted before he looked at Kakashi. Are you sure you can handle this guy alone? Kakashi nodded. Go help Sasuke, Naruto. He will need your help. Naruto closed his eyes and turned away from Kakashi. As he reopened them, the veins in his eyes could clearly be seen. Zabuza's eyes widened as Naruto gathered a lot of chakra and killer intent was leaking out. This kid Naruto's attitude became even colder, and it could be seen in his blood-red eyes. You say we students have problems killing, Naruto whispered deadly, as Zabuza heard muscles seemingly being stretched out. He took a look at Naruto's hands to see them changing in claws. I have no problems killing at all. If necessary, and I don't have any weapons, I'll rip the Uchiha apart and use his bones to pierce Haku. He ended with an evil grin, as his color intent kept rising. He chuckled darkly to reveal long, sharp fangs. How frightening, Kakashi thought, as he watched Naruto's back, as he was slowly walking towards Zabuza. His color intent is amazing. How powerful has he become? Zabuza backed away from the insane figure who was approaching him. Suddenly, red chakra was encircling him, red chakra with a mind of its own. What is he? Haku won't be ready for someone like him. I have to stop him. Zabuza thought, as he readied his sword and attacked Naruto. Zabuza's sword hit Naruto's left shoulder and pierced it deeply. Naruto expected as much and turned to look Zabuza in the eye, only to reveal that he was on the verge of exploding. Kakashi's eyes widened as Zabuza was blown backwards by the huge explosion. Damn, it was a cage bunshin. And still it radiated killer intent like that. He even made his own cage bunshin explode. Kakashi thought. He then sensed the real Naruto behind him, still with his arms folded. Kakashi was amazed by his skill. What? As soon as my shadow clone walked by you with part of my killer intent, you couldn't even imagine it was a shadow clone. You forgot all about me, the real me, who was standing right behind you. Pathetic, actually. Naruto let out, as he shook his head. I'll go save the weak Uchiha. You go after Zabuza, Haddock. For a moment, it seemed Naruto was the instructor, and Kakashi was the genin, but Kakashi was moved from his daze, as Naruto walked away again. Naruto. The Hunter Nin, try not to kill him. But Naruto didn't hear him or ignored him, as he continued on his way. Kakashi cursed inwardly, before he jumped towards Zabuza. Said person was lying on his back while smoke was rising from his body. I can't believe I fell for that brat's trap. Such an advanced technique, and such killer intent, he's no normal kid. He rose to his feet a bit slowly. That explosion wasn't normal either. I've seen cage bunshins explode before, but not as hard as this one. Zabuza wasn't easily injured, but small wounds were covering his arms and face, and few rips could be seen on his clothes. Zabuza got ripped away from his thoughts as Kakashi landed before him. Zabuza, I'm afraid I must get rid of you. My students are in danger, and I have no time to play with you like last time, he said. His Sharingan was already revealed. I'm sure you understand. Zabuza chuckled. Before we begin, who is that horrible kid? Kakashi grinned. Ah, I'm sure you mean the kid with the wild red chakra. Zabuza nodded his head. He's not normal, is he? Those eyes of his, that insane smile with those deadly fangs, what is he? You're the demon from the mist, and he has a demon inside of him, Kakashi started. He is Uzumaki Naruto, a vessel of the Yokai Kyuubi. Kyuubi. Zabuza swallowed nervously. You're worried about your students when you have someone like him on your team. I should be worried about Haku. Zabuza angrily said, but calmed himself down. But the kid is a lot younger than Haku. Haku should be able to handle what I've seen so far from the kid. Zabuza seemed to shrug as he stared Kakashi down. Heh, I don't care what happens to Haku, as long as I finish this mission and kill you, everything will be fine. Kakashi narrowed his eyes as Zabuza disappeared and a lot of mist suddenly appeared. Kakashi, let's see how useful your eye is when you can't see anything. Naruto hesitated in helping Sasuke as the mist suddenly thickened. The other weakling is guarding that old trash can. The weak Uchiha is probably getting sliced apart a bit, but Kakashi is having the toughest battle. Which will be the best challenge? Naruto thought as he observed the demonic ice mirrors from outside. These mirrors seem very breakable. Naruto thought as he ignored Sasuke's screams. Stronger than normal mirrors, but still very breakable. Sasuke-kun was heard from a distance. As Sasuke screamed again, Naruto turned away from the mirrors. Perhaps I should go help Kakashi. Zabuza, who is a much more interesting opponent. Sasuke-kun. Naruto turned around again, as what had to be the sixth scream annoyed him. That weakling is very good at screaming. Sasuke-kun. Naruto's eyes widened, and his annoyance grew even more. That other weakling only knows how to shout the Uchiha's name. Inside the area of the demonic ice mirrors, Sasuke dropped to the ground, as ice needles had hit him almost everywhere. Even my Sharingan is not good enough for this yet. Sasuke thought, as he coughed out some blood. Is this your limit, Uchiha Sasuke? Haku said. They had exchanged names at the start of the fight. I am terribly sorry, but I will have to end it here, and now. Zabuza-san most probably might need my help. Sasuke coughed out some more blood until he sensed someone by his side. I will kill this one, Naruto said. You are too weak, you should have realized this at the start. Move, and I will see you, as an obstacle. Naruto said, as he glared at Sasuke. I get rid of obstacles before I get rid of my enemies, Naruto warned, as he turned away from Sasuke. Like these mirrors he began, as red chakra poured out from his body, and got a life of their own. Haku's eyes widened behind his mask. That can't be chakra can't reform like that, can it? Haku had no time to speak, as a huge claw of red chakra was coming right at him, as he was inside a mirror. Haku moved to another mirror, and watched the previous one be smashed to pieces. The chakra is solid, and strong enough to break my mirrors, I have to be quick. Haku moved through each one of his mirrors, and threw dozens of ice needles at Naruto. He was amazed, and at loss, as all his ice needles were blown back by red chakra. The chakra is protecting him, as well Haku thought, as he saw the red chakra constantly surrounding Naruto. The chakra is always guarding him, but it can also attack. Then, time stopped, as every mirror broke. Naruto had expanded his red chakra into a huge vortex. Naruto released his full killer intent, as he saw that Sasuke passed out. Haku trembled in fear, as he couldn't move because of the killer intent. The hunter Nin took a look at the blonde shinobi to see a very mind-wrecking sight. Naruto's red eyes seemed to dominate his soul with just one glance. The red chakra around him seemed to howl for his death, as Naruto slowly approached him. He was unable to move away because of Naruto's killer intent. Zabuza-dan. Haku fell to his knees next to all the shards of his ice mirrors. I couldn't. Haku wasn't allowed to finish his thoughts, as Naruto's claw ripped through the mask, through his forehead. Zabuza's eyes widened at the huge killer intent lingering in the atmosphere around them. That's not Kakashi, it's that kid, but Zabuza thought, as the grip on his sword tightened. I can't sense Haku anymore. It seems Naruto killed your apprentice. Kakashi's voice was heard through the mist. 2 wounds could be seen on Kakashi's body. I'm going to end this, Zabuza. Zabuza's body moved on his own, as he ran for Kakashi. In an insane fit of rage, Zabuza arrived at the spot Kakashi had been seconds before. You're too angry, Kakashi's voice said. I might not be able to see you, but you're too angry, and it makes it possible for me to hear you. Zabuza gritted his teeth in absolute anger until dogs buried themselves out of the ground, ready to bite Zabuza apart. Zabuza would have nothing of it, and jumped backwards, in the process slicing 3 dogs away with his gigantic sword. Haku. Kakashi. I will end this now. Zabuza's enraged voice echoed through the mist. Kakashi braced himself, until Naruto appeared next to him, with his arms folded. Having trouble with your opponent, Haddock. Kakashi glanced at Naruto. You're using its chakra, aren't you? Naruto, still with red eyes, large claws, and little pointy ears, grinned. What makes you say that? Kakashi took a good look at Naruto and saw that he was totally unharmed. You killed the boy, didn't you? Naruto almost seemed to shrug. I hit him once. I think he died because of that one blow. Naruto said coldly. You used a summoning jutsu, he said, changing the subject as he eyed the small summoning scroll in Kakashi's hands. Yes, but the jutsu failed, Kakashi replied as he looked around, trying to sense Zabuza. Naruto calmly grabbed his own small summoning scroll and put his thumb. He unwrapped the scroll and smeared his own blood over all the names on the scroll. Don't Mikichirasu, Suga no Jutsu. Naruto coldly spoke out and rammed both his hands into the ground. Kakashi frowned. You used your own blood, but you haven't been hit by Zabuza. You could have used my blood. Naruto shrugged. Not necessary, the dogs know which shinobi to attack. It would be rather strange if I was standing next to my opponent and was talking to him. Kakashi considered the logic and nodded his head. A little later, he heard that Zabuza was running away. He was running away right in front of their eyes. My foxes aren't as weak as those dogs of yours I just smelled. They can actually use techniques, though not as advanced, as jutsus, Naruto said. Zabuza's only option is to run away from 12 of my little foxes. Kakashi's eyes widened a bit as he saw just how little these foxes are. He calls them little. They're almost as big as he is. Kakashi turned to Naruto and watched him do a few hand seals. He was too late to be able to copy them. Ninpu, Nibikasurere, Naruto said. Kakashi frowned at the name of the technique. Usually I refrain from using these kinds of techniques, but we're facing a Chunin. This jutsu combined with the summoning jutsu takes up almost all of my chakra, Naruto said, as he actually started panting a bit. Kakashi was curious what the jutsu did and narrowed his eyes to see all around him. In the distance, he heard slashing sounds. Kakashi and his team were on their way back to the leaf. Kakashi was still a bit shaken from the scene that was presented to him the day before. Zabuza's body would never be found back, maybe only a little of his blood, but even that was doubtful. Kakashi still didn't know what Naruto's technique really did, but when he found Zabuza and saw 12 foxes feed on him, he didn't really want to know anymore. Naruto was seated against a tree, while Sakura and Sasuke were hanging over a railing of a small bridge. They were at Team 7's regular meeting place. Kakashi was, as usual, very late. Naruto was actually asleep, which made Sasuke and Sakura rather annoyed, but they didn't dare say anything about it. Yo? Was the announcement Kakashi gave as he arrived. Naruto opened his eyes and stared, not glared, at Kakashi. Sasuke and Sakura did glare. You're always late, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura screamed. You should be our role model and always be on time. Role model? Kakashi coughed. Anyway, I came to give you guys these, he said, as he handed over 3 small scrolls. These are for signing in at the Chunin exam. Sasuke, Naruto, you can leave and go train. I need to talk to Sakura. Sakura, his eyes were slightly widened at the mention of Chunin exam, was clearly upset. As Naruto and Sasuke were gone, she looked at Kakashi. I'm not ready for this, am I? Sakura let out. Sakura. Kakashi smiled. We'll help you get ready. Sakura doubted if she'd ever really be ready for something like this, as she stared at Kakashi. Kakashi reassuringly smiled, reading Sakura's insecurity. Confidence isn't her greatest weakness. Her goal is her weakness, but how can I show that to her? Sasuke was practicing a new fire technique against a huge boulder, which was already quite scorched. The Chunin exam, this might be very interesting, he thought, as a huge stream of fire collided with the boulder again. He had his doubts about his team from the start. It grew even more when he knew Sakura was to be in his team. But when Naruto, the stranger, got in, he felt unsure of it. Then, the boy showed what he was made of against Kakashi, and on the mission. Yes, Naruto was stronger than him. I'll have to become stronger than Naruto. Otherwise I won't stand a chance against Itachi. Sakura had proven to be nothing but a nuisance on missions. As Sasuke had expected, she usually got in the way. No, she isn't ready for the Chunin exam. But thanks to some vigorous training during their first C-rank mission, he had gained the Sharingan and had used it against Haku. His Sharingan was well trained and ready to be used again. Other than that, his arsenal of techniques was growing as well. Finally he was ready for some of the more powerful fire techniques. Kaden, Ryuka no Jutsu. Sasuke yelled as he attacked the huge boulder again. This Chunin exam will be good for me. I'm sure there will be very interesting people participating. Sakura was walking towards where the first test of the Chunin exam was to be held. In front of her, a confident Sasuke was walking. It didn't take long before a menacing aura was felt behind them. They turned around to confirm their thoughts. Naruto was walking behind them, with his arms folded. Sasuke and Naruto hadn't spoken to Kakashi for days, and both of them wondered how far Sakura had come in those few days. She didn't seem so afraid anymore, but insecurities still danced on her features. As the trio walked through a door and were met with a large group of genins, they shook their heads. Even Sakura frowned as she put her hands in the seal and whispered Kai. Sasuke smirked as the Genjutsu 2 Shinobis put up disappeared. He narrowed his eyes at the boy on the floor, who seemed to be hit in the face. He seems rather weak. All the other genins looked a bit surprised, but stepped up to the next floor. The Genjutsu made it appear as if it was a floor up. Don't underestimate them, Naruto suddenly spoke up. Most of them are weak, but a few of them are not as weak. Hey, you with the dark eyes. Someone screamed as Team 7 made his way towards the entrance of the Chunin exam. Fight me. Naruto snarled as he looked at a young boy jumping down to be face to face with his team. Sasuke grinned, knowing it was him he meant. Naruto walked over to a wall and leaned against it. Maybe the other kid wasn't that talented, but there was something about him that Naruto wanted to see. Go ahead and fight, we have plenty of time. The boy introduced himself. My name is Rock Lee. You don't have to say your name, Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke heard Naruto, but all of his attention was on his opponent now. HN, knowing I'm an Uchiha, and still challenging myself, I'll show you what this name means. Naruto rolled his eyes, as Sasuke got pummeled seconds later. As Team 7 walked towards the real entrance of the first test, Sasuke looked on intrigue, as he saw Kakashi in the distance, in front of the entrance. Sasuke was trying to forget his loss against Lee, and also the words Naruto spoke afterwards. To think an Uchiha lost against someone who can only use Taijutsu. Ah, you finally arrived, he said, as his 3 students stood in front of him. Well, I've said it many times, but you 3 will need to work together from here on in. That includes you, Naruto. Naruto's response was a glance at Kakashi's face, before he closed his eyes again. That wouldn't be necessary at all. Kakashi's head dropped a bit, but a smile returned. Well, in any case, good luck, he said, looking at Sakura and Sasuke as he opened the door for them. Sakura's uncertainty followed her 2 teammates through the door. As they entered the room, they met some familiar faces. Hey, big forehead girl. Hey, you know pig. Naruto seemed to wake up from the shrill screams, and he glared at the blonde who greeted Sakura, only to close his eyes again. There were a few powerful chakra presences here interesting. So, who's your teammate? A boy with a red stripe on each cheek said, as he approached Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto. Even though it was obvious Naruto was uninterested, Sakura chose to introduce everyone. Our teammate, Uzumaki Naruto, stared at Sakura, but didn't listen. Instead, he was trying to figure out who the more powerful ones in the room were. After introductions stopped, an older man stepped up to the group of 9 rookies. Hey, you guys should be quieter. There are Shinobis here known for their short temper. Notice your surroundings. Naruto narrowed his eyes on the older man. Who are you? He spoke, ignoring Kabuto's warning. The man seemed to wink, as he smiled. Yakushi Kabuto, nice to meet you. Kabuto analyzed Naruto, as he stared at him. And you are? Uzumaki Naruto. He answered, not really caring. His glare at Kabuto grew in its intensity. Kabuto-san, have you taken the exam before? Sakura asked, as she stared at the taller and older man, destroying the tense atmosphere between Kabuto and Naruto. Actually, this is my 7th time. His answer earned him a few frowns. I know a lot about this exam, too. I gather information through a skill of mine in info cards. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. What kind of information? Well, as you can see, Kabuto began, as he grabbed his cards. They seem empty. Only my chakra can reveal the information on them. You haven't answered the question, Sasuke pointed out. Kabuto grinned. Well, what kind of information are you interested in? Do you have information on individuals? Sasuke asked, as he stepped a bit forward to look at the cards. Kabuto grinned. Yes, if you have a name or appearance. Rock Lee and Sasuke looked at Naruto for a while, as if he was hesitating. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto's right eye twitched. Kabuto grinned, as he gathered a bit of his chakra and put it on his cards. Rock Lee, you guys are rookies, so he's a year older than you. He's a 20 completed D ranks, and 12 completed C ranks. His ninjutsu and genjutsu seem low, but his taijutsu is very high. His teammates are Hyuga, Niji, and Tenten. Kabuto took a look at his second in card. Ah, you 2 are teammates. Seems odd to ask about him, Kabuto shrugged, as he continued. Naruto has had 16 completed D rank missions, and 3 were recently. 33 completed C rank missions, and 5 B rank missions, 4 completed impressive Naruto-kan B missions. As a genin you had an earlier genin team, with the Jounin instructor Aoba. Interesting, he said, as Naruto watched Kabuto read some more on the card. Naruto narrowed his eyes. You seem to have too much information about others. Naruto tilted his head dangerously, as he was about to release a bit of his color intent, but stopped shortly after. Be careful where you put your nose. Kabuto simply grinned at the warning. Well, I also have information about the participants. You see, there are Shinobis from every country. Stone, lightning, fire, water, rain, grass. Sound is a newly established country, so I don't really have that much information about that one. Sound is new, but the other villages have talented youngsters. Naruto leaned against the wall and ignored everyone. But after a minute, he heard swift movement and looked up to catch up with the movements of 3 sound shinobis. What are they up to? Grinning, Naruto released a bit of his chakra and made it move underground. As one of the sound moved forward, he pulled his leg from underneath him, making the bandaged sound shinobi fall on his face. Kabuto's eyes widened. What? He's too skilled to fall like that. Who did it? Kabuto did feel some chakra, but it dissipated as soon as it had come. The other 2 sound shinobis who had been moving came to their friend's aid. I wanted them to attack me, actually. Who stopped their movements? Kabuto thought as he looked at the 3 sound nins. The bandaged sound shinobi was a bit annoyed as he stared at his teammates. My leg almost got pulled through the ground, he whispered as he motioned to a hole in the ground beneath his right foot. His 2 teammates looked a bit nervous as they saw it. Naruto decided to sleep a bit as the paper test started. Morino Ibiki was observing the classroom as every genin was writing down answers. Naruto wouldn't admit it, but it did help him that Morino Ibiki was one of the few shinobis in Konoha he could get along with. A B-rank mission in the past put the 2 of them together against an A-rank missing nin. Naruto easily figured out the purpose of the test at the start, and Morino let him have his rest. As he slept, he didn't notice the dozens of techniques being flung around in the classroom. Later, he woke up as Ibiki mentioned a 10th question. Naruto, who had easily figured out the purpose, knowing Ibiki better than the other genins, chose to ignore this as well. Then, he sensed a familiar chakra signature approaching. He chose her to be the second examiner. Naruto followed his 2 teammates, who followed Mitarashi Anko to the Forest of Death. This was to be the second test. The more interesting one, Naruto hoped. He glanced around to see which shinobis were still left after the first test. Rock Lee's team was there. That dog boy's team, and the fat guy's team too. Not worth mentioning really. Alright. Anko suddenly screamed as they stood in front of the gates of the Forest of Death. Here the second test will commence. I need all of you to sign agreement forms, she said as she made Chunin's hand out forms. There will be a possibility you will die, so I don't want to take responsibility. After everyone had a form, Anko continued. Naruto seemed bored and closed his eyes, deciding to sit against a tree. Anko's eyes narrowed at this, and she instantly threw a kunai at Naruto. Naruto was hit and then replaced by a log. Anko didn't show it, but she was surprised. In that short time he noticed my attack and used Kawarumi. Interesting. Well, it seems you're getting better and better, Naruto-kun. Behind Anko, Naruto stood with his arms folded. I may be ranked genin, but to do something like that to me is rather foolish, Anko said. He smirked as he walked away to lean against another tree and close his eyes. Anko shook her head with a grin. That's just like him. Should I throw another kunai? She shrugged and continued. This will be a scroll battle. There's a heaven and earth scroll. As she continued, Naruto zoned out again. Entering the Forest of Death, Naruto took a look at his surroundings. This might get interesting. Sasuke nodded his head. There are some strong shinobis in here. From here on out we have a few options, but 2 come more clearly to mind. We finish this as fast as we can, or we gather as many scrolls as we can. Naruto said coldly as he stared ahead, daring anyone to attack him. Sasuke seemed to consider both options and couldn't answer immediately. Sakura, on the other hand. Finish this test as quick as we can, of course. Naruto seemed disappointed with her, not that he wasn't already. His response was a sigh as he folded his arms. Sasuke grinned. Let's go on the hunt. We'll take the scrolls of every team we meet. Naruto nonchalantly nodded his head, and the 2 headed off, ignoring Sakura, who was forced to follow. I sense a powerful shinobi up ahead. We'll have to move faster. His gate was pretty far away from ours, it seems. This one, is he more powerful than you? Sasuke asked, assuming it was indeed a male shinobi they were heading for. Naruto regarded him for a second, before he smirked. Maybe, but I am often disappointed. Sasuke frowned, and Sakura was close to despairing. Gaara, Kankuro, and Temari, the only shinobis from the sand, were jumping from tree branch to tree branch at a very fast rate. Kankuro was looking rather worriedly at his younger brother when Temari chose to speak. Someone is approaching us. Their direction is exactly our way. Do we set traps? No, we'll confront them without traps, Gaara stated. Temari and Kankuro looked at each other as Gaara stopped on a tree branch and jumped down to the ground. She's rather thirsty today, he said as he licked his own bottom lip. All 3 of them noticed the sudden change of atmosphere. Someone with a large chakra capacity was very close. Suddenly, behind them, a leaf team appeared. Ah, Asuna genin team, Sasuke said as he braced himself. Naruto said these guys were good. Sakura was trembling in slight fear. These 3 look pretty skilled, Konoha genin's Kankuro said as he looked at Temari with a grin. This shouldn't be too hard. Temari shot a warning gaze back. Don't forget that incredible chakra surge you just felt seconds ago, she whispered. Sasuke smirked. So, which scroll do you guys have? It doesn't matter, Gaara answered. We will fight anyway. Naruto glared at Gar. He's the one who has a similar chakra presence as me. This will be very interesting. Sasuke was shaking from excitement and rushed forward, too fast for Kankuro and Temari to react, but he wasn't heading for them. Gar had no worries, as Sasuke's attack got blocked by sand. Instantly, the sand grabbed Sasuke and threw him into a tree. Sasuke recovered in a split second and had his Sharingan activated. An automatic defense. How do I get past that? A Dijutsu, eh? Kankuro said, as he released his puppet, making his opponent frown. Kugutsu no Jutsu. Temari grinned, as she readied her fan. You guys won't be able to defeat Gar, but maybe we'll have some work on our hands, as well. Naruto stepped forward and released some of his color intent, making Temari and Kankuro back off. He's just like Gar, they both thought, as they stared at his cold eyes. Gar's reaction was confusion, until he grinned and stared at him. Your blood, she's screaming for your blood. He whispered uncanny, as his eyes widened in a very frightening way. Naruto and Gar both glared at each other, color intent still rising. They were both itching to attack. You're very interesting, Tsunagen, and I'll enjoy killing someone as powerful as you. The shinobi with that Dijutsu is no match for Gar, and the female in their team doesn't seem strong, either, Temari thought, as she observed the Konoha team. The blonde, however. Sasuke was tense, as he watched the chakra around Gar and Naruto with his Sharingan. They're both gathering so much chakra. I will learn from this battle. Before the two teams could square off, another large chakra presence was felt. What's happening? Sakura thought, as the ground trembled. From out of the ground, a long-haired grass shinobi appeared. Sasuke looked intrigued while Sakura was very frightened. Looks like I am intruding here, he grinned. Naruto glared at the newcomer. He's not a genin. How about I kill all 6 of you, and take all of your scrolls? The grass nin said, as he chuckled. Sasuke-kun's team and Gar's team, facing each other so soon after the start, how odd. Kaiten, Kakaku no Jutsu. Sasuke screamed, as a huge fireball made its way towards Gar. Again, sand blocked the attack. Naruto had steered his attention from Gar to the grass nin. He's the bigger threat for sure. He seems too controlled to be a genin. And he's obviously holding back his chakra amount. The grass nin frowned, as if trying to decide whether to be annoyed at the fact that he was being ignored by the fighting genins. Suddenly, Gar's color intent swam over everyone. Temari and Kankuro's eyes widened, but they were ready for any incoming attacks. Naruto was impressed, but he didn't show it. Gar made a grabbing motion, which made sand rise from the ground towards Sasuke. Sasuke jumped backwards and landed next to Sakura. Damn, his attitude, it's just like Naruto's. Suddenly, the grass nin cackled madly with his arms in the air. As his chuckling stopped, he stared at the genins around him and released his own color intent. It surpassed Gar's. Kids, radiating killer intent like this. Temari's and Kankuro's eyes widened at the power of the grass nin. Kankuro, this guy is something else. Kankuro nodded dumbly. Yes, perhaps fleeing is the best option here. Gar chuckled evilly as he stared at the grass nin. Are you a scared coward? He said, not looking at Kankuro. This guy wants his blood instead. He grinned darkly as he turned to the grass nin. Sand from the ground floated around Gar, as if it were his chakra. Kankuro despised, as the grass nin's color intent grew even more, freezing them in their tracks. Sea crab. Temari gritted her teeth and tried to move. Sakura and Sasuke were in the same predicament. Gar and Naruto, however. To freeze your opponent with your color intent, Naruto grinned, as his eyes widened and he released his own color intent. He laughed like a demon, as his color intent made Sakura faint. That wouldn't work on me, however. The grass nin's eyes slightly widened, as he felt his own color intent being surpassed by the leaf genin. That's very interesting, although I'm not even trying. Gar joined in on releasing his color intent. 3 monsters were facing each other. The grass nin chuckled, as he looked at his 2 opponents, who were also each other's opponents. This will be very interesting. My name is Orochimaru. I will be the one who will easily deal with the 2 of you. Naruto's eyes immediately narrowed. Ah, so you're in disguise. Legendary Sannin from the leaf. The grass nin did a hand seal, and smoke embraced him. Through the little smoke, Orochimaru, his true appearance, was revealed. Ah, so you know who I am. He answered with a chuckle. It doesn't really surprise me now then, your name's. Gar of the Desert, Gar answered, as he prepared himself. His eyes were widened, and his mouth was open, set in a horrid laugh. He was ready to create carnage. Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto replied, calmer than Gar, as he started gathering more and more chakra. This is a Sannin, perhaps I'll have to use it. So he's the Kyuubi's vessel, Orochimaru thought of, as he observed Naruto. He already knew of Gar. Let me see how you control your own power with Kyuubi and Shikaku. Gar's eyes widened in anger. He knows my secret, yet he isn't afraid. Gar suddenly screamed, as he fell to his knees, a huge sand dome suddenly surrounding him. Naruto's eyes widened a bit as he saw that. He turned his attention back to Orochimaru. To think a Sannin like you is in the Chunin exam. He growled. "You're making this exam a lot more interesting," he said, as red chakra surrounded him and hardened in a red glowing sphere. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes as he observed both of them. They're going to release their full power using a very difficult sealing process. It takes a long time, so they have activated their absolute defense at their fullest. His thoughts got interrupted as kunai was approaching him. He caught it easily and saw the Uchiha jump away with Sakura in his arms. "Ah, the Uchiha freed himself from my bind." He clearly sees that he's not strong enough to deal with this situation, Orochimaru thought, before he saw Gar's teammates moving again. They too jumped away to safety. Yes, let them observe this battle. Orochimaru watched as Gar's sand dome crumbled to the ground to reveal Gar, still in his normal state. But something was different. Ah, his chakra presence has changed a bit. Shukaku's influence, Orochimaru thought, as he grinned. Then, Naruto's chakra dome crumbled as well and revealed Naruto, also still in his normal state. Him too, you can definitely feel Kyuubi's chakra through him. They were both very similar now. The two half-demons looked at each other, understanding that Orochimaru was the bigger threat now. Gar was confused, but anger radiated through his entire body. Another demon keeper like me, and this man, he seems to know everything, he thought, as he let his chakra plummet sky high. Naruto was doing the same, red chakra pulsing around him like a mad inferno. Orochimaru saw me to think I'd meet you like this. His blue eyes changed red, while Gar's green eyes changed yellow. And then, both of them charged forward at an awesome speed. Sasuke, with his Sharingan, was unable to follow. Temari, Kankuro, Sakura, and Sasuke were observing the fight, and were too afraid to move. Their chakra amount kept rising. Naruto and Gar were both so powerful. But what seemed more frightening was the fact that their opponent was actually dodging and blocking their attacks. That leaf genin, he is so similar to Gar. Temari thought. And their opponent, his name was Orochimaru, right? I've heard that name before. Kankuro's eyes were trying to follow every movement the shinobis in front of him were making. They were all in a tree overlooking the area they were fighting in. I bet the entire forest is feeling the chakra being displayed here. Sasuke was too confused to really be angry at himself for being too weak. Naruto, he said, Shukaku, and Kyuubi. What did he mean by that? Sakura was still affected by the killer intents in the area, but she could at least move now. Orochimaru, one of the three legendary Sanins of the Leaf. He's stronger than Kakashi-sensei. Yet, Naruto is fighting with him, and is actually keeping up. The entire area trembled, as Orochimaru's fist connected with Naruto's face. The same happened, as Orochimaru's foot penetrated Gar's defense, and sent him into a tree. The observing genins were amazed at the display of power. This Sanin was defeating two monsters, as if it was nothing. He just hit Gar. Temari thought. This is all so unreal. She thought, as she saw the battle being continued. Sasuke's eyes widened, as the red chakra around Naruto seemed to harden a bit. But when he looked ahead a bit, he saw the transforming Gar. What are they? Orochimaru chuckled again, as he watched Gar's face. So, he's letting Shukaku take over. Naruto's hands were now claws, and his teeth were fangs. Orochimaru was standing in front of two demons. Come, Naruto-kun, Gar-kun. Gar rushed forward like a real monster, screaming all the way, only to be countered by Orochimaru. He found himself flailing towards a tree. What an obvious attack pattern. Don't disappoint me like this. Naruto was calmer, as he glared at Orochimaru. He grinned, and performed a hand seal. Yukon, Urubusuma no Mebu. Orochimaru looked intrigued, as Naruto was surrounded by red chakra with a life of its own. In a matter of seconds, the chakra is divided into 9 separate parts of chakra, or rather, 9 spears. Obviously a technique coming from your tenant, I should say. The snake Sanin easily dodged the swift spears of red chakra, and the constant physical attacks from Gar. You two attack too, obviously. You're not facing a genin here, you're facing a Sanin. Orochimaru chuckled, as he released all of his color intent, effectively stopping both Naruto and Gar in their tracks. But then, Orochimaru's head whipped over to Gar, and saw that he was transforming. Oh. He's becoming Shukaku. Before Gar could continue, however, a hand hit him in the neck, forcing him to go unconscious. To Naruto, the same thing was done a second later. Orochimaru's eyes widened, as he saw the great Sandaime stand before him, with Mirashi Enko, Morino Ibiki, and Hada Kakashi. Orochimaru, the old Hokage, began. What are you doing here? He demanded in a cold tone. Orochimaru bowed in mock respect, and chuckled. Ah, Sarutobi-sensei. Just checking on something. These two got in the way, though. Orochimaru then slowly sunk into the ground. Enko wanted to rush forward, but was stopped by the third's hand on her shoulder. I will come back, Orochimaru whispered before he disappeared. The Sandaime sighed. Orochimaru is already far, far away from here. This was probably just a cage bunchen, he explained. He turned to the genin teams, and the unconscious demon vessels. Sasuke, Sakura, Temari, and Kankuro had already landed next to their teammates. They should be up and about soon. I suggest you take them away from each other. Kakashi sighed, as he carried Naruto. I'll take you guys back a bit, he said, to face another demon vessel, and Orochimaru. This was too much for my team, he thought as he saw how frightened Sakura was. Kankuro picked up Gar, and then the Sand team left as well. The Sandame, Ibiki, and Anko waited for them to leave. You think Orochimaru will come back again? Ibiki asked. Sarutobi shook his head. Perhaps, but we now know he's here, and he knows we'll keep a close eye on everything. With that, the trio left. As Naruto woke up, he saw Sakura sleeping a few meters next to him. He rose and checked himself for any injuries. So someone interfered. He found himself in a small cave and walked outside to find Sasuke keeping watch. Go sleep, he said as he walked up to him. I'll take over. Sasuke regarded him for a second, but then turned and went inside. Dara was his name, and he had the Shukaku sealed inside of him. Who interfered, and why was Orochimaru here? Naruto thought as he folded his arms and narrowed his eyes. Looking in the distance, he saw silhouettes moving around. But they were not skilled enough to detect him, he noted. The next morning, Naruto and his team were on the move again. We'll attack the first team who has our scroll and finish this test as soon as we can, Sasuke suddenly said. Kakashi told me we should finish this as fast as we can. That Orochimaru was a legendary Sannin, he explained. Sakura nodded. Yes, we'll finish it as fast as we can. I just hope we won't come across any more powerful opponents. Naruto wanted to kill the weak female in his team, but decided against it. They would be disqualified then. I doubt there's anyone more powerful than Gaara in here besides me, he stated. Who interfered? The third Hokage. Sakura answered quickly. Naruto nodded his head. That, I can accept. Naruto suddenly grinned as they were jumping from tree to tree. There's a team observing us. They've sent one of them ahead, who will probably set up traps for us, he whispered. Don't let them notice we know they're there. Sasuke and Sakura nodded their heads. I want to kill them. I need to vent my anger out on them, Naruto whispered coldly. Like lambs to the slaughter, a cold voice sizzled to his ear. The listener frowned to his right to see his teammate hop from branch to branch. This mission we were given is nothing, he responded. You've seen it, haven't you? He's weak, they're weak, all of them. He received a snort back. Never underestimate your adversaries, Zaku. His chilly voice almost seemed to make Zaku cringe. Leaf Shinobis are weak. I say Orochimaru-sama commands all of us to just take the leaf down. Zaku half yelled. Silence. Dosu softly warned. Even though we're not sensing anyone, there might be higher leveled Shinobis from the leaf who can still hear us. Zaku sighed and frowned at the same time. Yeah, that could be, if your hearing wasn't so damn perfect, Dosu. Anyway, Dosu and Zaku both looked at each other and nodded. They're approaching Kin already. They've moved faster than we've expected. It doesn't matter, Kin must be finished by now. Dosu responded as they both landed on the ground and continued from there. We'll wait until we hear the explosions. Sasuke winced every time Naruto rammed a kunai through a different body part, as the sound genin was pinned to a tree by a few shurikens and kunes. Sakura had turned her back to the small massacre, flinching every time she heard the sound genin sob in pain. Naruto chuckled shortly before he rammed another kunai through her left shoulder. Pitiful sound genin, the finishing touch, Naruto whispered as he grabbed a small piece of paper out of one of his pockets and plastered it on her forehead. The sound genin was panting, trying to recover from all of the pain she was withstanding. Better clear out, this explosion might kill you too, as well, he said to Sakura and Sasuke. The leaf genins quickly jumped away and were followed by Naruto a short moment after. And then the explosion came, which sent trees flying, soaring past them. Sasuke and Sakura were caught in the fierce wind caused by the explosion and were also sent flying a bit, but they were in control. As the duo landed, Naruto appeared beside them, holding his finger to his mouth. Her teammates are approaching. I can't wait to see their reactions, he said, before the trio hit. A few seconds later, two male sound genins entered the clearing, caused by the previous explosion. Dosu, the explosion was pretty big, it seemed Zaku started, but saw Dosu moved his arm to silence him. I can hear breathing, and Dosu crouched to pick up a head protector, a sound headband. Zaku looked at the headband, slightly curious what it could mean. Don't tell me. Kin has been killed. We've been lured into a trap. Dosu confirmed his thoughts, and braced himself. They seemed to have taken care of her easily. Indeed, Dosu and Zaku turned around to see the blonde leaf genin from Sasuke team standing in front of them. You were hunting on the wrong team. You're the one who killed our teammate, Dosu whispered as he readied himself. Zaku grinned as he, too, prepared himself. You're in Sasuke-kun's team, right? Naruto frowned. You're after the Uchiha as well. He motioned with his head for the two to look behind them. It's good to see you two don't care about your teammate. Such weakness a shinobi doesn't need, after all. Dosu and Zaku turned a bit to see Sasuke and Sakura jump out of a tree. However, Naruto continued. I will see to it you will have the same fate your teammate had. Zaku laughed and put both of his arms up and aimed them at Naruto, only to have one sliced off in a second. Zaku dropped to his knees and screamed his lungs out. Dog's eyes widened as red chakra was all over the place. Through Zaku's screaming, his voice could still be heard. What are you? All he saw was red everywhere. This sense of chakra, it's abnormal. Your only weapon is that arm of yours, isn't it? Naruto asked, as he appeared in front of Dosu and stared at his metal arm. I can see chakra coming out of it. Zaku rose again, this time aiming a mighty glare at Naruto, while panting. Dosu's only reaction was a nod. Don't do anything, Zaku. This one's way above us. I'm going to end this. My day has started off bad, you guys will make it up for me by dying by my hands. Naruto whispered deadly, as he stepped forward. Thank you. Zaku screamed, releasing a wind blast from his remaining hand. As his wind blast was going on, he saw the blonde shinobi walk right through it, as if it was a small breeze. What, take this. Ultimate Zankyu. Dosu, observing, widened his eyes when he saw red chakra ripping through Zaku's wind blast, and actually forming itself in a huge red claw. He nervously swallowed, as it easily ripped through Zaku's body, leaving nothing but body parts. Dosu wanted to respond or give up, and was ready to kneel on the ground, but Naruto rammed his claw straight through Dog's chest. He didn't allow Dosu to fall, as he grabbed Dosu's special arm. What's so special about this? Naruto analyzed. He kicked Dosu away, and sent him through a tree. Dosu's arm remained in Naruto's hands, however. Naruto chuckled, as he observed the arm in his hands. I think I'll investigate this one. He put it on the ground before he did a few hand seals. Die, sound weakling Doten, to Shoku. Sakura's eyes widened, as the ground around Dosu rose a bit, and then seemed to swallow him up. From above, you could see it was actually a humongous mouth swallowing Dosu up. Yes, this actually makes the ground around the victim able to eat the victim. It's very interesting, he'll be buried alive also. With this jutsu, it's almost impossible for a weak shinobi like him to escape. The chakra needed to break through has to be that of a Chunin at least. Naruto explained with a grin. Sasuke nodded, taking in the information. With his Sharingan, he had copied the jutsu. We'll have to dig him up again once he's really dead, though. He was the one who had the scroll. The blonde killer said, as he picked up Dog's arm, and walked towards where he buried him. Now might not be the right time to join them, an observer thought, as he watched Team 7 from a distance. The short one is emitting a very intense killer intent. He seems to be quite angry. Kabuto narrowed his eyes at Uzumaki Naruto, and Uchiha Sasuke. It seems Orochimaru didn't put a curse seal on Sasuke-kun. Did he fail or did he deem him unworthy? The other leaf genin, Haruno Sakura, was of no concern. And then, his eyes widened, as the Naruto he had been observing popped away. Kage Bunshin. Boy. Kabuto hastily turned around to see Uzumaki Naruto standing right in front of him. He caught me off guard. He must be above genin level. Very interesting. Naruto grinned, as he saw the confused look on Kabuto's face. I don't know what you're thinking, but I can't allow anyone to observe us like that, he said, as he tilted his head to the right, making a cracking sound while doing so. You really picked the wrong team to watch, Yukushi Kabuto. Kabuto straightened himself, and stood 1.5 head taller than Naruto. Ah, you remember my name. I was observing your team to see if you guys were alright. We are fellow leaf shinobis, after all. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Not in this exam. I'm collecting scrolls, I can smell you have too. Prepare to fight for them. I have no need for a battle, Naruto-kun. You also have both scrolls, am I correct? Kabuto asked. Just to be sure, he prepared himself for a sudden attack. Naruto sighed, and shook his head. We have 2 scrolls, but they're the same. Kabuto seemed to brighten a bit. Ah, let me help you on your way out. Naruto glared. I don't need any help. The blonde shinobi suddenly had it in his hands. Prepare yourself. Back at the small clearing, where Sakura was drinking water, and Sasuke was burning some fish, both of them sensed Naruto's chakra very close. They both turned their heads to see Naruto fight an older leaf shinobi. They were both falling out of a tree. Kabuto moved his arm in front of his face to block Naruto's fist. I do not wish to fight Naruto-kun. The duel landed a few meters away from Sasuke and Sakura. Boy. Naruto yelled towards both Sasuke and Sakura. He has the scroll we need. Attack him already. Kabuto's eyes widened as Sasuke suddenly joined in with a fire attack. Katen, Gekakyu no Jutsu. Evading the fireball, Kabuto moved in high speed and appeared behind Sakura with a kunai to her neck. Heh, I knew you would resort to that, which Sakura strangely said, which made Kabuto frown. Sakura's head turned a bit to reveal blue eyes, and Kabuto quickly jumped away when he sensed a large amount of chakra being gathered in Sakura's body. The huge explosion afterwards was the explanation. Explosive Kage Bunshin. Kabuto thought, as he was sent flying into a tree. The real Sakura jumped out of the tree Kabuto bumped into, and landed next to Sasuke, who just got done doing a few hand seals. Katen, Ryuka no Jutsu. A narrow, but very powerful streak of fire was sent towards Kabuto's sprawled form. As it hit, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto observed the burning tree. As it died down, they saw a burned tree branch where Kabuto was a few seconds before. Kaworimi. Sasuke figured. Naruto snorted as he looked around. He's still close, but his scent is fading. He's running away. Sasuke looked sideways to observe Naruto. This one was pretty powerful, but we scared him away quite easily. Naruto sighed in irritation. He's running away from the tower. It's no use pursuing him. Naruto sighed in annoyance. With reluctance he continued, while staring in the direction Kabuto had run. We'll find another group to kill, he said, as he turned towards the tower they were supposed to get to. Let's finish up. We'll wait for approaching teams close to the tower. His anger was growing by the seconds. It's been a very long time since he has released his anger completely. He couldn't believe how tempted he was to just kill his two teammates right then and there. He was looking to his left and right, using his nose and his ears to their fullest abilities. Orochimaru, eh? Naruto's thoughts wandered off. He was beating me rather easily. Not only that, he was beating me and another demon container at the same time. I need to become stronger than this, and yet, I hadn't shown my strength yet. Suddenly, Naruto's right ear twitched, indicating that he heard movement. Finally he almost groaned. You two stay put. I want to take care of this team alone. Sasuke rose to his feet. They were all seated on a broad tree branch shadowed by hundreds of leaves. I'll come too, he whispered back. There's no way I'm letting you do all the work. Naruto grinned. Ah, finally showing a backbone. Fine, how about I let you have a try first? Naruto's grin vanished to be replaced by menacing glare. You better hurry up quickly, Uchiha, or I'll finish the team along with you. Sakura was sulking behind the duo, knowing she would just be a nuisance if she tried to help. She looked up to hear Sasuke's response. I'll finish them before you get your hands on them. Shino and Kiba had both stopped moving, as Akamaru barked really softly. Hinata Shino suddenly whispered, letting her know that they were sensing someone. Byakugan. She responded softly, as her renewed vision allowed her to see far more than her teammates. A Konoha team. Kiba grinned. So it's just a Konoha team. We can handle that, right, Akamaru? But Akamaru wasn't as confident as his master, as he released what seemed like a whimper. What's wrong, Akamaru? Shino narrowed his eyes behind his glasses, as Uchiha Sasuke landed before them. Uchiha Sasuke, I see. His teammates were Haruno Sakura and the new one. Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura appeared shortly afterwards. Let's see how far you've come, Uchiha. Naruto said, as he glared at the other Konoha team. Be careful, Kiba suddenly said. One of them has a huge chakra which is overshadowing the others. I've never heard of something like Akamaru crawling inside his clothes. What's wrong, Akamaru? Shino prepared himself, as he saw that Sasuke did the same. I assume you want our scrolls. What I want is a fight. I don't care for the scrolls. Sasuke replied. Abiram Shino. Be prepared. He rushed forward with incredible speed, but was interrupted, as he saw a fist appear between him and his target. He could just barely dodge Kiba's attack, as he circled around him, kicking him down by the ankles, as he did so. He immediately kicked behind him to fend off the attacking Shino, but was surprised to find his foot stuck in bugs. The next thing he saw was the trunk of a tree. Kiba jumped up after he saw Shino use his bugs to throw Sasuke into a tree. He's got good reflexes. Be careful, Kiba warned. Do not forget his teammates. Shino warned. They both looked at Hinata, who was, as always, just observing. Hinata, let's take this team down. Hinata nodded, as she walked up to Kiba and Shino. You two take care of the other ones. I will face Uchiha Sasuke. Shino reasoned. No? All three looked towards the source of the voice. Uchiha Sasuke, with the Sharingan blazing towards them, was glaring at them in rage. All of you will face only me. He yelled, as he rushed forward. See crap. Kiba yelled out, as he saw Shino being knocked away like a ragdoll. He quickly vexed his claws, and went to slice at Sasuke, only to receive a kick in the gut. Hinata dodged every blow Sasuke gave her, however. Sasuke stopped his attacks, as he noticed Kiba and Shino reappearing beside Hinata. You with those eyes. That's a taijutsu, right? Sasuke asked, as he glared directly into Hinata's Byakugan. Why yes, a Byakugan. She answered. Naruto suddenly spoke up, his voice clearly echoing over them, even though he was just musing. In some ways, her Byakugan is superior to the Sharingan. It can be seen all around, and up for a few miles, too. Yes, I do think this Byakugan is better than the Sharingan. Sasuke gritted his teeth in anger, and rushed forward again, now fully intent on taking Hinata down. Before he could do so, however, Shino and Kiba both rounded on him, attacking him with everything they had. Sasuke's Sharingan was working overtime. Kiba suddenly crouched, leaving Shino alone to fight Sasuke. Ninpu, Shikyaku no Jutsu. Sasuke was suddenly hit in the face by a massive shoulder bash, and was sent sprawling on the ground. Ugh, that dog, he's gotten faster. Jujin Bunshin. Sasuke looked up, as he heard Kiba yell his next technique. What he saw made him glare. He now saw two Kibas. It's not Genjutsu, Sasuke noticed with his Sharingan. He quickly got up to dodge Shino's right foot, which was about to land on his face. Is this all you can do, Uchiha? Naruto suddenly butted in. I'm getting impatient. Sasuke ignored him and quickly performed a few hand seals. Kaiten, Gekakyu no Jutsu. Shino and the two Kibas vanished from his sight, and Hinata wasn't targeted, so she didn't have to move. She was just observing. Sasuke cursed as he ran up a tree and performed a second set of hand seals. He quickly kicked away one of the Kibas, who had suddenly appeared next to him. In the next second, he delivered a roundhouse kick to Shino's chin, which sent him down to the ground again. And then, he finished his hand seals. Kaiten, Ryuka no Jutsu. He yelled, but he was aiming at nothing. Until right before the head connected, the observers saw the remaining Kiba appear in front of the attack, and he was hit directly, catching the full power of Sasuke's fire attack. The other Kiba's eyes whitened as he saw what happened. Akamaru. Sasuke chuckled. You thought I couldn't see you 3 moves with my Sharingan. Ignorance. He continued to chuckle as he jumped down to continue his assault against the remaining Kiba and Shino. Kiba jumped towards where Akamaru landed to find him unconscious. Shino was fighting hand to hand with Sasuke. So you've got bugs inside that coat or what? Sasuke asked as he tried to hit Shino. Bugs burn, to Kaiten, Hazuka. Shino easily dodged every incoming fireball. He's using a lot of chakra. He turned around. Hinata. Hit him. Hinata nodded hesitantly and rushed towards a frowning Sasuke. As if she's going to make a difference, Sasuke snorted as he released another fire attack at the approaching Hinata. Kaiten, Gekakyu no Jutsu. To his surprise, Hinata dodged easily and actually came close to Sasuke. He jumped backwards to avoid the incoming palm. As Sasuke dodged, he saw Shino from above, ready to hit him through the ground. He blocked Shino's fists and somersaulted the bug user in the face, effectively getting away from Hinata at the same time. As he landed, Hinata was right in front of him, hitting him barely on his shoulder. Sasuke responded by grabbing her by the collar and kicking her away. Kiba caught her as he returned to the battlefield. Damn, my shoulder hurts more than it should, Sasuke thought. Sasuke-kun. Are you alright? Sakura's scream annoyed Sasuke further. Shut up. He responded angrily and glared at his opponents. Come, let's continue. Shino nodded his head. I advise you not to move. Sasuke snorted. As if my Sharingan didn't notice all of your puny bugs around me. Shino narrowed his eyes as Sasuke gathered chakra around him to give him some space by blowing away a few of the bugs. He jumped up and collided with Kiba, who managed to grab him and throw him into a bush. Sasuke quickly got out, ready to fire another attack. Doten, Toshoku. Shino was surprised to find the ground shaking beneath him. What's this technique? He found his feet stuck in the ground and a huge hole forming around him. This is going to swallow me down. Naruto slapped his forehead and shook his head. That idiot, now he's definitely out of chakra. Kiba had rushed towards Shino, as had Hinata, to save the bug user from his demise. Sasuke couldn't stop them, as he had dropped to his knees from chakra exhaustion. Did this technique take so much chakra? He thought in frustration. The Sharingan user looked up to see that his technique had failed, as Shino's teammates had saved him. Damn this, I'm out of chakra, he panted, as his Sharingan deactivated on his own. You admit defeat, then? Shino said, as he was staring at Sasuke. Heh, you stuck-up bastard. I told you that it was impossible for you to beat us. Kiba half yelled. In his arms he held his wounded friend, Akamaru. Hinata was just observing everything with the Byakugan. And his teammates. Shino turned around to see Naruto grin, while Sakura was still whimpering a bit. Indeed. Now it's my turn. I expected, as much a voice echoed throughout a small clearing. 3 Konoha shinobis were seated around a small campfire. He's stronger than I expected. That usually doesn't happen. My assumptions are usually right on the mark, Kabuto whispered, sounding a bit confused. Still, he does have a demon inside, he reasoned. Even with that in mind, I thought I had come prepared enough. Orochimaru appeared just outside the circle of 3 men. Kabuto, I fought with him, as well. He is strong, especially for a genin. I haven't seen him strongest yet, but I think you can beat him. I want you to confront him during this Chunin exam, and give me a report. Leave the little Uchiha to me. Kabuto nodded. As you wish, Orochimaru-sama. What about us? One of Kabuto's teammates, Akito Yoroi, spoke up. How may we serve you, Orochimaru-sama? Orochimaru grinned. I expect you two to assist Kabuto in the best way you can. With that said, he disappeared. Kiba's eyes widened, as the blood seemed to float in front of his eyes. Shino. Kiba didn't know what to do, with the killer intent roaming freely around him. He wanted to run, but his pride told him he couldn't leave his teammates alone. As Shino fell to the ground, with about half of his body missing, courtesy of a strange red claw made out of chakra, Hinata was also frozen on the spot. Naruto chuckled, as his murderous gaze focused on Kiba, and the whimpering mess of fur in his coat. Now what's with the sobbing, little girl? Naruto commented, as he slowly walked towards the dog-like boy. Kiba's eyes widened, as he felt his heartbeat through his throat. Seeing Naruto, as he was approaching him, with all the red chakra around him, it seemed as if the devil himself was going to smite down upon him. He couldn't move. Run. run, 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 run. The next thing he knew was that Akamaru was barking at him as he was lying on the ground. All that blood on the ground, that's my blood. My blood. I'll leave that little dog alive for you, weakling, Naruto said, as he stepped through Kiba's blood and walked towards Hinata. Naruto sighed. I can't kill women as easily as I can kill men. Give me the scroll or die, he warned. Hinata's arm trembled as she pointed to Shino, who was still breathing. Naruto looked a bit surprised that the bug boy was still alive. He ignored Hinata and walked over to the bleeding mess that was Shino. I'm impressed. With half of your body missing, I'd think you'd faint and die while you sleep. Naruto chuckled. I commend you for fighting for your life. He sighed. Now he ruthlessly ripped the coat Shino was wearing off of Shino's body, making his body bleed even more. Where's the scroll? He said to himself as he was searching for the code. Naruto finally found the scroll and shot one glance at Shino and Kiba. You weaklings will not survive, I'm sure. I hope you'll die slowly and painfully, although I would have liked it more if you two had been on my team instead of those two insects. He then turned to the freaked out Sakura. You will carry Sasuke. I have no need to carry such disappointment. It had been an hour after they had arrived at the tower. Kakashi greeted them and congratulated them on passing the test. He was surprised to see his team have so many scrolls. All of his subordinates were alright and needed no treatment. He remembered that Orochimaru had attacked them along with another demon vessel. Somehow I don't think Naruto has allowed them to grow much during this Chunin exam, Kakashi thought, as he left them in a great area where they could rest, drink, and eat whatever they wanted. Stepping into the area, Naruto immediately noticed Gar, and vice versa. Temari and Kankura could feel the lust for death roll off of Gar's body. They shivered, as Gar's eyes seemed to beg for the blonde's death. Sakura and Sasuke were in the same predicament, feeling Naruto's killer intent even more intensely, as they were standing close to him. The two demon vessels seemed to want to finish the battle they had started in the forest a little too badly. Without warning, Naruto appeared in front of Gar at a speed too fast for Gar's shield. What happened next astounded Temari and Kankura to no end. Gar was hit in the face, and was slammed into, half through the wall behind them. Now, standing close to the blonde, Temari and Kankura felt the same creepy aura around Naruto as they felt around Gar. Sasuke and Sakura were ready for a fight, but a bit afraid because Kakashi hadn't come inside with them. Temari and Kankura knew they didn't stand a chance against someone who could blast Gar away like that, and were frozen on the spot. Gar, the vessel of the Shukaku, Naruto, whispered. Rise, and meet me once again. Before anyone could react, a hand of sand surrounded Naruto, and tried to squeeze him to death. Sabaku Susu. Gar let out violently. As the sand squeezed Naruto, everyone thought it was over. Until the sand was blasted away by Naruto's chakra. Impressive that pressure to think I had to use this much chakra to shield me from it. Gar simply glared, but inside, he was in turmoil. Someone strong enough to survive his desert graveyard. This meant he could only defeat this one by transforming even further, like he did before in the forest. Enough. A voice suddenly yelled out. Bystanders seemed to be relieved by the yell. The second test is over for you two teams. There will be no more fighting until the other survivors arrive. Mitarashi Anko yelled out. Still, she saw what these two kids were capable of, and doubted she could stop them. It was when Naruto and Gar both seemed to want to kill her, as they glared at her lethally. Suddenly, behind Naruto, Kakashi appeared, and behind Gar, Baki appeared. No fighting until you are allowed to do so. I don't want you disqualified. Baki scolded, but feared the red-haired maniac quite clearly. Kakashi simply shook his head, but was very aware of the red chakra around Naruto. Naruto, you can't fight here. You'll be disqualified. You want to be Chunin, right? The demon hosts seemed to ignore their teachers, as they glared at each other. The three present Jounins were all very aware of the killer intent the two gave off. Fine. They both said, as they turned away from each other. Now they had to wait for all the other teams to arrive. It turned out to be a long wait. Darkness, there was only darkness. Father. Silence. The sense of recovery, the scent of life, the whimpering of realization. Proceed. After what seemed like an entire month, Naruto heard a Jounin order them to assemble in front of the Hokage. Naruto's attitude changed slightly, as he stared at the Sandaime. They shared a look of respect, and bowed very shortly towards each other. It went by unnoticed by everyone, as if the Hokage had cast a genjutsu so no one would. Naruto wasn't even interested in who had survived this test, and listened to what the third had to say. What it would take to make him a Chunin, finally. After close to 10 minutes of explaining, Gekuhei appeared, telling them to pick numbers for the final test tomorrow, and to rest for today. The third Hokage knew a lot of shinobis had perished during the second test. Probably a lot by Naruto's hands. But now, there were only a few survivors. The third saw Mito Gai's team, Sarutobi Asuma's team, Hada Kakashi's team. The remaining were the team of the sand, one from the sound, two from the rain, and another leaf team, several years older than the rookies. In total, there were 24 participants left. If this was going to be a tournament, there would be 3 participants left in the end, which meant the final would be a battle between 3 shinobis. The third saw the list of the names of the remaining participants. From the Leaf, Mito Guy's team, Hyuganiji, Rock Lee, and Ten. From the Leaf, Saratobi Asuma's team, Yamanaka Ino, Akamichi Chaoji, and Nara Shikamaru. From the Leaf, Hada Kakashi's team, Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto. From the Sand, Bucky's team, Tamari, Kankuro, and Gar. From the Rain, Baidu, Midair, Shigeru. From the Rain, Kagari, Mubi, Aboro. From the Leaf, Tsurugi Misumi, Yakushi Kabuto, and Akado Yoroi. From the Sound, Teaya, Seiken, and Kagaya Kimimuro. The third frowned at the last name. Kagaya. Wasn't that from a deceased clan? Interesting, he didn't really care much for the Jounins from the foreign countries. Haimeru was the name of the Jounin from the Sound. The third wondered shortly. The next day, Mitarashi Anko and Morino Ibiki entered the Hokage's office with a list of the matchups. A lot of interesting battles were to come, and the third was sure to increase the ticket price for the stadium, where the final test of the Chunin exam would be held. Yakushi Kabuto vs Gar. Akamichi Chaoji vs Shigeru. Ten vs Bayu. Seiken vs Saburo. Uchiha Sasuke vs Midair. Nara Shikamaru vs Akado Yoroi. Haruno Sakura vs Yamanaka Ino. Tamari vs Mubi. Kankuro vs Kagaya Kimimuro. Kagari vs Hyuganiji. Teaya vs Rock Lee. Uzumaki Naruto vs Tsurugi Misumi. And then there was another surprising team that might make an appearance, the third wondered. If an opening was created, there would be room, but the chances of that happening were really slim. The Genins had 2 weeks to train before the final test would commence. After 2 weeks, Gar of the Sand found himself face to face with Yakushi Kabuto, a Leaf shinobi. The stadium was full of shinobis, villagers, daimyos, and all other filth, Gar noted. Their cheers were really working on his nerves, almost tempting him to just release Shikaku to devour them all. But he wanted to enjoy it. So he focused all of his annoyance on his opponent. Let me enjoy this. Kabuto smirked. Oh, you will, Gar-kun. Genma, the referee this time, announced the start of the match with a simple begin. Neither of the two moved for a good 20 seconds. Kabuto grinned and performed a few hand seals. How well are you against Jinjutsu? Gar simply continued his glaring. Kabuto narrowed his eyes. The Jinjutsu he created was supposed to make Gar cringe in pain, even a bit if not much. He knew Gar was very tolerant, and a Jinchuriki on top of that. But this Jinjutsu made thousands of insects play with his organs. And yet, Kabuto suddenly was attacked from all around him, and found himself trapped in a sphere of sand. I will enjoy your torture, Gar whispered, as he rose from under the ground behind where Kabuto stood before. The Gar who was under Kabuto's Jinjutsu crumbled to the ground. It was a simple sand clone. Subaku Susu. The sphere of sand grew smaller, and spectators were sure they heard bones crumble. That was, until the sand reformed and spiked towards Gar. As Gar's eyes widened, and he got impaled by the sharp end of the huge spike of sand, he saw Kabuto grin from where he stood, at the exact same spot. You know, if you insert more chakra in a technique that's being used against you, quite often, you gain control of it. Kabuto snorted, as he saw Gar crumble to the ground, as sand again. Those tricks are getting old, Kabuto said, as he threw a few kunes over his shoulders, only to see all of them stopped by a shield of sand. Ah, quite a defense you have there. Automatic too, it seems, as it costs you no chakra. The ever-analytical Kabuto noted. Gar's facial expression didn't change, as he continued his assault of sand hands towards Kabuto, who easily dodged every one of them. These attacks are too slow, Gar-kun. Gar suddenly was hit in the face several times, as Kabuto's speed was clearly higher than Gar's protective sand. Tamari and Kankuro both looked stupefied, as Kabuto rammed his fists numerous times in Gar's face. What? How come you're not fighting back, Gar-kun? Are you not used to feeling pain? Kabuto asked, as he stabbed a kunai through Gar's chest, and jumped away before he could be attacked by sand. Gar held in a scream, as he pulled kunai out. This guy, I need to kill him for spilling my blood. Naruto narrowed his eyes, as he watched how Gar's wound was already healing. His regenerative skills seemed to be slower than mine. Kabuto had his eyes narrowed behind his glasses, as well, before he closed them, and turned to the referee. Referee, everyone was curious, as to what he was going to say. I forfeit, I tire from this battle, as it seems futile for me to continue. Up in the stand, a Sound Jounin's left eyebrow twitched. He clearly doesn't want to show more of his skills. Also, the old blood in his system seems to have awakened during the fight. He can barely hold back the bloodlust now, Orochimaru thought, as he saw how blood seemed to appear in Kabuto's eyes. Understandably, he wants to forfeit for our plan to work. His skills need to be a definite surprise. I guess my orders for him contradicts my plans at this point. He realizes that much. He finished his thoughts with a grin. The two Jinchurikis here are quite powerful. Winner, Gar. Gar glared at Kabuto's back, as the gray-haired shinobi was walking away from him. You are scared of me, coward. Gar let out calmly. Once a fight starts, it has to be finished, one way or the other. Kabuto turned around, with perfectly fine aimed killer intent only noticeable to Gar, revealing at the same time his blood-filled eyes, and grinned. Oh, it will. Gar can't have patience for a change with that. Kabuto jumped up to where all other genins were waiting. Gar followed suit, using his sand to transport. Naruto observed Kabuto, as he appeared on the same floor he was waiting on. Yakushi Kabuto, he's holding back a lot. I wonder how strong that coward really is. Naruto zoned out, while Sasuke activated his Sharingan every now and then during the next few matches, trying to copy useful techniques. Akamichi Chaoju lost against the ranged shinobi, Shigure, and was carried on a stretcher because of the many wounds caused by the needle attack from Shigure. Ten defeated a ranged shinobi by using many shinobi weapons. Her arsenal was truly unreal. The Rei Ninaboro got pummeled to a bloody pulp by the sound shinobi Seiken, who seemed to enjoy beating the crap out of the younger Rei Nin. Sasuke had easily defeated the remaining Rei Nin with amazing fire techniques and swift jutsu, which he had partly copied from an ally, Rock Lee. Akito Yoroi was only good at Taijutsu and needed physical contact to win, so against Shikamaru, he didn't really stand a chance. Naruto was very tempted to finish both participants of the next match off after a minute or two, seeing that they weren't getting anywhere fast. After half an hour, the match had a draw, as a conclusion, which further pissed the blonde shinobi off. Yamanaka Ino and Haruno Sakura both knocked each other at the same time. Mubi, a Rei Nin in tight yellow-white suit, was easily thrown against the wall, several times, by the wind attacks from Tamari, and so the blonde Sand Nin had beaten her adversary without a problem. Her brother Kankiryu, however, was very quickly defeated by his opponent, Kagaya Kimimaro, by simple and quick Taijutsu. Kagaya didn't reveal any powerful techniques while doing so. Hyuga had wasted no time on his opponent Kagari, and had silenced him with Jyuken under 1.5 minutes. The Taijutsu specialist Rock Lee stood no chance against Jinjutsu specialist Taiya. And Uzumaki Naruto's match against Tsurugi Misumi. Well, let's just say that someone got killed in less than 30 seconds. Red Chakra was involved. The third Hokage rose from his seat as the first round was over. Participants, there was another team who had made it to the final test of the Chunin exam. They had both scrolls and made it to the tower. Their injuries, however, didn't allow them to stay for the explanation I gave about this final test. Their team has chosen a single member to participate in this final test, seeing there is one opening because of the draw between the Leaf Shinobis Yamanaka Ino and Haruno Sakura. Naruto's eyes narrowed, as Aburame Shino appeared in the same waiting area he was in. That's impossible, I'm sure he couldn't have survived what I did to him. Aburame Shino felt Naruto's stare, but decided not to stare back. Aburame Shino has joined us in this final test. His opponent will be Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto's frown disappeared, and he regarded the bug user with a feral grin. Ha, looks like I got a second chance. Man, just barely able to still enter, and already facing that monster. Kiba shuddered, as he stared at the waiting area, sitting in the crowd along with Hyuga Hinata and Yuhi Kurenai. Sensei, his opponent right now, was the one who almost killed us in that forest. Kurenai nodded her head, and sent a glare towards Naruto. I'll make sure he won't try that again during this test, Kiba-kun. Hinata wasn't so sure about that, as she heard the referee call out to the next two shinobis to join him in the fighting area. Gar of the sand, Shigure of the rain come down. The entire crowd resisted the urge to vomit, as Gar had squashed his opponent to death using the desert graveyard. Shigure's attempts on hurting Gar with his needles were easily stopped by Gar's shield of sand. The next match was 10-10 vs Seiken. The match was almost as short as the previous one, as Seiken skillfully avoided every weapon 10-10 threw at him, and proceeded to knock the brown-haired girl unconscious with only 4 effective blows. The third match of the second round was between Shikamaru and Uchiha Sasuke. This match was really long. Sasuke had already seen how Shikamaru fights in the previous round, and did everything he could to stay away from Shikamaru's shadow. Often, he came close to getting caught, but in such a situation, he'd use either high speed to move away or a fire jutsu to make Shikamaru run. The winner was Uchiha Sasuke, after Shikamaru realized he had no chakra left. The blonde Tamari was easily defeated by Kagaya Kimimaro by a speed that rivaled Rock Lee's without weights. Her wind blasts were simply too slow to be able to even come close to hitting Kimimaro. Hyuga, a Byakugan user and a genius of his clan, was defeated by very high-level Jinjutsus that made Kakashi reveal his Sharingan. Sasuke had also activated his Sharingan, but couldn't see as much as Kakashi did. Tei really was a talented girl. Those Jinjutsus are way too high level to be that of a genin. In fact, the entire sound team seems to be overpowered in this exam. Kakashi read, as Hyuga was defeated, although he did manage to hit Tei a few times. And then, Naruto jumped down to the arena. A second later, Aburame Shino stood before him, only with his back towards Naruto. Referee, I forfeit. Shino bowed in respect. I have no desire to feel a similar pain I felt 2 weeks ago. He turned to regard Naruto. One day, you will receive what you give to others, Uzumaki Naruto-san. Naruto simply grinned, although he was a bit disappointed not to have a fight. So disappointing, Abiram-san. I wanted a fight so much too. Tell me, though, how did you survive in the forest? Shino gazed at Naruto with a frown. Medic ninjutsu. Seems like I'm supposed to fight one of the Jinchurikis, eh? Seiken thought, as he observed Gar from a distance. Too bad Orochimaru-sama forbade me to use the curse seal, otherwise I would have stomped the little brat away now. I'll have to lose this, he finished with an inward grumble. Seiken, don't screw up, you stupid faggot. Tei let her presence known, as she appeared behind him. Kamimura will kill you afterwards if you use even the slightest bit of that. She said. Remember, he never disobeys him. Seiken snorted. Kaniv already, redeed. As if I'm going to screw up before I can be part of the greatest battle of all times, he let out. Truly, the war between leaf and sound, with sand, as our puppy, this is going to be such a blast. I wonder where the other two are hiding, though. Tei wondered out loud, as she seemed to gaze towards the higher parts of the stadium. Seiken of the sound, Gar of the sand. Get down here. Genma yelled out lazily. Haimaru-sama. Orochimaru, in his disguise, turned around to see a normal sound Jounin behind him. Our Kamimura has to face the prodigy, Uchiha Sasuke. Surely, Kagaya-kan would not kill him. Haimaru laughed. Nonsense. He smirked at Kabuto in disguise. He will not ruin my plans. I want you to focus on your task after the final matches. Surely, when he's tired, you would stand a chance. The sound Jounin seemed a bit perturbed, but only for a second. Even when not, I would still gain the upper hand. Haimaru chuckled. If you say so. Tei has to face Uzumaki Naruto. I don't have any information about the blonde genin, but I don't think he's really good against Jinjutsu. Haimaru chuckled again. No, he'll probably be really good against it. I can only hope Tei will be smart enough to forfeit, as she values her life. Because she can't use that. Haimaru shook his head. Even if she was allowed to do so, she would still stand no chance. Genma sighed tiredly. He had been standing in this fighting area for way too long, he found. Begin this match. His voice is awkwardly similar to a certain R. Seiken rushed forward, intent on breaking Gar's face. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.